it's that favorite time of year that everybody loves, and that's budget time. So we're gonna get a department by department look at our budget. Tim Young's gonna get us started, and then we'll have each individual departmental presentation. Mr. Young.
Good evening, Mayor Council. I know you guys
Good evening.
are almost tired of me coming up and talking about budget, so it's a
We love talking about money.
Yeah. In about 45 days, we'll be done with it for a while. At last meeting, we gave out where we were at the time for our budgets, and we were still working through our numbers, and we still are. We were essentially about $140,000 over in expenditures versus our incomes. We did some more scrubbing, did some more looking, did some more allocation for what funds can go into which departments. And I'm happy to say that at least right now, with the same parameters that what we had at the last meeting of the salary freeze, we do show that we can have a balanced budget with some overage. Looks like about $70,000 right now. That may go up or down as we still go to come through, but that is without any use of any fund balance. So that's at least heartening to me. What I'd like to do tonight is actually have each one of the departments now kind of go through their budgets, similar to what we did last year. I think last year we got through about 4 departments. We may spend a little less time with each one, but we're going to have each department head, talk about what they do, the services they provide, some of their goals, some of the great opportunities we have, and some of the threats. And we're going to start with our illustrious police chief, Mr. Bruce Headley.
I'm about illustrious.
Industrious.
Not on the agenda, is fire gonna call the police tonight?
Yes.
All right, my name is Bruce Headley. I reside part-time at 700 Doug Davis Drive, Hapeville, 30354. Icebreaker
You'll be here all day.
a very tough budget year. I'm gonna go through these slides pretty quick. Sharif? Just to highlight our operation efficiency, a little over 6,000 calls for service. Average response time is a little over 2 minutes, over 23,000 calls. And the good thing is all police vacancies are filled, and we only have 2 dispatcher positions that are vacant. That's good news. Next slide will illustrate the number of allocated slots we have, from the chief all the way down to the code enforcement officers. Next slide. Set goals last year, and we met all of them. The 6 major categories were to reorganize the police department, to include 2 new captains positions, recruitment, and we'll say we're at full staff. Large in part of our raises that were installed last year. Certification is well on its way, and we should meet it by December of this year. And rewrote the entire standard operating manual, which took about 1.5 years. That's complete. And of course, embracing our technology and the rising costs associated with such. It's expensive to run a police department, and I'll illustrate that on a couple more slides in the back of the presentation. And then we continued full speed ahead with our community outreach, as many of you probably have witnessed. Next slide, please. We look at the police department, and we look at it as a continuum between the service on one end and enforcement on the other. We like to stay on the service end. So we're creating new programs for our community, both business, community, and residential corridors, neighborhood watch meetings, Citizens Police Academy, a lot of different events in the park, Safetyville, capturing our youth, mentoring them. We have a youth mentorship program now, and keeping our business relationship as high as we can. Next slide. Where is the pie? The pie is not there. Do y'all have a pie?
Not on our page.
Okay. Well, is that it? Okay, perfect.
Yes, I'll put this in our packet.
Well, it's just a quick snapshot of the budget, the overall budget of the police. It's basic in 4 slices. You got the personnel costs, 60%, and then we have contract services, supplies for both police and code. That's another $500,000 approximately, and then equipment and debt service, 1.5, and then we have our code enforcement costs. So just kind of a quick snapshot of where the monies are going to run a municipal police department. It's not cheap, I will admit that, but given what we're facing today with technology and the demands of the courts and the public, a lot of those things are necessary to efficiently run and professionally run the police department. Next slide, please. And talk a little bit about, let's see. We have to remain competitive. We talked about that last year, and our thought was we were going to get 3 years of raises, and we did get that raise. And by the way, I really appreciate it because it put us up in the competitive area of the market. But we're starting to see now that we're not so competitive anymore. I kind of was hoping that the next 2 installments would take place. But I also understand with conversations from Tim that he has to balance a budget. He has a tough job. I get it. I'm just fighting for my folks. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying if we can't make it work, you can't make it work. You have to balance the budget. I get it. I was hoping maybe we could figure something out after the final numbers come in, and Tim has not, he's not going to exclude that idea. So
Work some magic, you mean?
maybe you can make some magic. Maybe we don't get everything we asked for. Maybe we can give them a little bit. But these public safety professionals deserve it. They work their butt off every day for us. Put them there in harm's way, working the best job they can, providing professional, enhanced services to our community, and they deserve every nickel we can give them. And, the last slide is just our firm commitment to our community. It's going the next, yeah, that's fine. We're just committed to doing the best job we can, the most efficient way, meeting all the standards of state certification, make sure we respond in the most efficient, professional way to serve our citizens. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about my budget this year.
Chief, would you do 2 things? Would you, one, talk a little bit more about certifications, and then maybe go back.
Go back to that slide that's got
the triangle, yeah.
fuel.
Yes.
The triangle?
Yeah, that one right there.
Because that's critical. That's a critical part of our operation. I don't think folks understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, well, let me speak about certification. Certification is a state standard, a state set of standards to the Georgia Association of Police Chiefs. It's a 140 standard manual. It covers everything from police operations to arrests, to criminal procedure, to arrest warrants, to how we drive our patrol cars, how we conduct our business both personally and professionally. And I can tell you this, that we had a mock assessment about a month and a half ago we passed. So what we do after that mock is we take any criticism that was offered, which constructive criticism, and we did have a few things we need to work on, which is normal in those type of assessments. And I think we're ready to go for our full certification inspection, which will come December. Now, the good thing is, it forces us to get in a 21st policing model, a century model, reduces liability for our department because we're kind of forcing our officers to operate in a certain way. And those ways are specified in each standard. And so my policy is kind of written around those standards. And the good thing is for us, and for you as elected officials, and for people to understand is once we get that certification, our liability insurance is cut by 20%. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I fully intend to make sure that happens. So, well, we've got all our standards in place. We're just waiting on the queue to get inspected, really, because there's only so many inspectors out there. So waiting on that, we have our date set. The triangle.
Mm-hmm.
We put that in there because we wanted to illustrate that running a municipal police department is expensive. Just in, ancillary technology costs, fuel, flock camera, the Fulton County radio MOU, Axon body cameras, the prisoner housing, so forth, animal control. That's over $628,000 a year, just there. We're not talking about anything personnel. talk about salaries or fringe benefits. We're just talking about, that's the core of what we need as certain technologies to keep doing what we're doing now. What you guys have asked us to do as a police department, deliver the best services possible. We can't do it without this technology support.
Some we can control, and a lot of them we can't control or have very little control.
That's correct.
And I mean, let's look at our prisoner housing, $48,000. That's a bargain compared to running your own
It is.
jail. Would be
It
in
is.
millions.
There's no doubt about it. $60 a day plus $5 fingerprinting charge. It's a deal. It's still-
I may catch you off guard, but I want to ask if, again, because every budget season, I like to highlight the services that we have that I think go under the radar that people take for granted. One of which, one of the most important things under public safety for me is our own 911 service. We don't farm it out to Chatham, we don't farm it out to Fulton County. It's here, it's in this building. If you had to carve out from your budget a ballpark cost for our own 911 service, is $1 million a fair number?
Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, and, having a true PSAP is, you're blessed. Because, you look at what Fulton County does for most of the counties around here, like College Park, East Point, South Fulton, Fairburn, Forest Park, they're all dispatched out of Fulton County, so they have a host of different people working that don't really care
They don't
about.
know the people, they don't know the community.
They don't know the community, they don't know the streets.
The repeat offenders, they don't know the officers,
Plus, when you call, you're going straight here, it's no connection back and forth, you're going straight here and you're getting a fast
you're
response
not
time.
gonna sit in the queue and hold.
No. So if you really want that fast response time, having a true PSAP is the way to go.
And I'll reemphasize, a 2.2 minute police response time is virtually unheard of.
We are blessed, there's no doubt about it. Did I cover all those extra items too?
For now.
For now. I've heard that before.
Any questions for the chief?
Just a couple. The East Point prisoner housing, that's, just to clarify, that's not a set fee, that's per prisoner per night?
Per prisoner per night, correct. It's $60 per prisoner per night with a $5 fingerprinting charge if we decide to do that. And that's just for our local ordinances.
I did just want to add a personal note that a couple of weeks ago, I was able to do a ride-along with one of our officers, Sergeant Singh Savat. It was an evening shift because that's when I was available. So I showed up about 6:30, went through the roll call, changing the shifts, and then we got in her patrol car and started our shift together. And I stayed with her about 3 hours until well after sundown. And what I saw and heard and experienced in the car and observing her, the technology, the communication, the sophistication, and also I want to stress the soft and graceful manner in which she dealt with every single contact, as she called them, resident or not, was really, really impressive. And it was a night that I'll never forget. And in fact, it included everything from, stumbling upon illegal parking, to responding to active calls. She showed me the flock how the flock system is embedded into the onboard computer system. But then suddenly I asked her a question about tinted windows. And it wasn't 30 seconds later that she spotted somebody drive by us with solid blacked out tinted windows. And so she pursued this individual and resulted in an arrest for various reasons. So I got to witness at close range the whole process of detaining an individual, fingerprinting them, booking them, and of course transport over to, we didn't transport that night because the family was able to post bail. But it was, I couldn't sleep that night because I was kind of on an adrenaline high after just 3 hours. But it was a whole new insight into what goes into police work and raised my level of respect for what they do, the dangers that they face. Each situation is completely new, unplanned, and when you step outside the vehicle, you don't know what's going to happen. And She did it with such ease, like she'd been doing it her whole life, but there were buttons and whistles and chatter and intercoms and lights and switches every which way you looked in that cab. And until I did that, I truly had only seen the numbers on a page like we're seeing here, and it didn't make as much sense. So I just want to publicly thank the police department for facilitating that, and to thank you, Chief, for providing such trained officers. I guess at the end of the night, what I would say is that without the force that we have, being that we are on the edge of Atlanta, the airport, the interstates, a cluster of hotels, if we didn't have the force that we have, it would take no time flat for our wonderful little Hapeville to dissolve into absolute chaos. It's out there, everything from drugs to loitering to, heinous crimes. And we were able to get to each call within about 2 minutes, just as this report says, because we're a small city. So I guess I'll stop there, but it really opened my eyes. And if there's anything we can do in our budget, the bigger issue is, of course, we're a small city on the side of a huge city in competition with a dozen or more other cities who basically are recruiting from the same pond of qualified officers. And if we don't stay competitive, they will leave, or they won't come in the first place. And so that is a priority, and if there's any way we can do something to at least express that we hear and we know and we're sensitive, and this includes all of our city staff for that matter, we will try to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments, Sergeant. Amy's a great supervisor. She really is. Just one more last comment. It took us about a year to recruit the folks that we have. My job and my goal is to retain those folks.
Of course.
And I'll just leave it with you at that. Thank you.
Council, any other questions for the chief?
I have one question, sorry, I know you
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
answer. What's the typical attrition rate of officers, or do you track those numbers?
Yeah, we do. Percentage-wise, I would say per year, 10-15%.
Yeah.
Because I remember previously you told us how much it costs to train an officer, a new hire.
And that's doubled since the last conversation we had.
Yeah.
And so, when we're talking about the budget, if we lose an officer, the goal is to keep the department fully staffed.
Yes.
And so if it comes down to, okay, if we lose 10% of the officers, which we have 51 officers,
We have 32,
32?
correct.
Oh, not counting dispatch.
Not county dispatch, those are just sworn officers, from myself all the way down.
So if we're losing 3 officers a year, if we compare the cost to replace those 3 officers with how much it would cost to just give the people that we have competitive,
It would be
Pay
cheaper that way,
increases.
for sure.
it usually is cheaper to retain talent than to bring in new talent. And I don't know if the number for training officers is in the budget, or if it's a case-by-case basis, we have to find the money, but I just think that's something we should seriously consider when we're talking about the budget.
Yeah, I just have never seen it in this space before in all my years of working in this job. The recruitment, the challenges of recruitment are extraordinary. The competition is at an all-time high, and the training requirements now in the state are like top of the country now. So it's costed me twice as much to train someone as it did on the last budget. So we're talking fully loaded cost line, $200,000 to train an officer for the first year. That includes all equipment, fringes, everything. And then they walk out,
You started.
that's real money gone.
I think that one thing that would be very helpful within our department, we talked about this ad nauseum during our last retreat, is how do we implement merit-based increases based on a step program. I have not heard that come back up. I haven't had any more discussion about that. And if we implemented that, that would help carve out some of the displacement and attrition rate for us. Because coming to a budget perspective, I think that it's going to hit not only the department hard if they lose employees, but it's going to hit the residents hard if we continue to increase our millage rate and things of such like that in order to be able to compensate for these increases. So I think we need to be proactive and build something into the performance model like a step program or raised merit-based program in order to make sure that we get this to fruition versus just keep talking about it in theory and we're not doing anything about it. Because it concerns me that we're losing 3 officers per year too, and you have 1.5 cost to 2 times the cost to retrain them, rehire them. We're back at the same drawing board over and over and over again.
But I believe that's why he changed the chain of command to address, so you'll have a chain of command established to evaluate your staff.
Yes, and
But no, that's not a step program.
I understand.
Well, on the other hand, if you implement a program,
You gotta fund it.
and you gotta fund it, but you've got some individuals you're not gonna reward, then what does that create within the department?
It doesn't create anything adversely necessarily. It encourages people to continue to further personal development, professional development, to get to that level. It is not about rewarding certain people. It's about having the ability to reward development in order to sustain them. Because if we don't have anything else that's going to keep them here, such as a SWAT team, anything of that nature, we need to come up with some type of innovative program to keep them here.
And I think that's especially true because we have such a unique department. And I do think that there are officers who are very ambitious in their careers and want to pursue departments that we don't even have. But then there's other officers, and we've heard from officers here who love Hapeville, who love the community, who love that they get to be so involved with the residents. And so how do we reward that? Because that's the kind of officer we want to retain, even though we can't, we don't have help me out here. I haven't watched a true crime show in a very long time. But we don't have like a SWAT team.
Yeah,
We only have so many avenues they can
Right.
pursue.
Our
I mean,
career
that's-
ladder
Special
That's the
actions unit.
struggles of a small police department. You only have just a few specialty jobs.
Right.
You could do community outreach, but that spot's taken and they often don't vacate for a long time. Traffic guys, detectives, those guys will never leave detectives.
And we don't want to have a department, and I think we've made a lot of progress, don't get me wrong, but I do think with the climate of competitiveness around us, we need to get really creative, where we have to wait for someone to quit or retire for you to get an increase in pay.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to address the fact that our department is unique and figure out how we can compensate people, especially those of us who are with us for many, many years.
Because in honest and all actuality, because we just keep throwing money at employees, not fixing what's keeping them here. The driver, we're gonna be always chasing behind that tail, just throwing money out there, and it's not gonna be sustainable.
Well, it's like he said when he started though, we had a 3-year plan in place, but the new properties that came online, the value of those in our tax digest were offset by the adjustments that Fulton County made on values. So we're winding up collecting less in property taxes this year, even though we've got more product on the ground, we're collecting less in property taxes this year because of the readjustments that Fulton County did on our assessment. So we can't fund the commitment, the quasi-commitment that we made last year.
I totally get it, so that behooves us as the leadership of this city to sit back and come up with innovative or strategic ways to see how we can carve that out to meet this obligation that we've done for the police department.
And then that echoes and trickles down to the other departments as well, because we've got the same issue with fire. We've got the same issue with every department in Hapeville. We've got good people and we need to keep them.
I agree with that
And
100%.
it's not all about money, but
Yeah.
money's a major weight on the scale, in my personal opinion. Right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I meant to read the background on this earlier, and then we'll move to the next.
Oh, okay.
At the August 4th City Council meeting, the City Manager updated Council on the current status of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. He explained the city staff is approximately $140,000 from balancing projected receipts and expenditures. With additional review and examination expense-wise, staff now estimates projected general fund revenues of $19.51 million, expenditures of $19.44 million. In the work session this evening in preparation for the September budget and millage rate hearings, the department heads are prepared to elaborate, as we just heard, on their departments, including accomplishments, highlighting opportunities and threats in the upcoming fiscal year. So, I didn't read that earlier. Blah, 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 blah. So now, fire. How you doing, chief?
Good evening.
We don't have anything on the fire in our packet,
We do not have anything on fire in our
so I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be looking on the slides, so,
I will do my best to keep you up.
thank you.
My name's Nick Condrey. I'm the fire chief. My daytime residence, 606 King Arnold Street. And I'm here to give you an overview of our budget and what it costs to run your fire department. So fire department staff across the board, our ranks in our administration have not changed. I just made 2 more job offers today, so that still leaves us 2 short. We do have 4 currently in recruit school. They are set to graduate on September the 19th. So that'll put us 2 short from being full staff. What we provide has not changed. Fire protection, protect human life, property and incident stabilization, emergency medical services, that is our main service we provide. We, again, are the only department in all of South Fulton County, or all of Fulton County as that matter, to provide transport by ambulance, and I will get into it a little bit later about one of the benefits of having that in our department. We also do community risk reduction, which involves public education and strong community relationships. We do fire inspections, fire prevention week. Some performance measures from 2024. We did answer 1,721 calls. 4-minute average response time, that gets skewed up a little bit when you take into account responding to mutual aid calls, responding from downtown hospitals. When these apparatuses are in the fire stations, it's about half that time. We brought in our new ambulance, which was a 2023 Ford F450. We put that in service as Medic 1, moved Medic 1 to Medic 2, and since then we've had a lot more reliability with our ambulances on the road. We were having to ask for help from Forest Park, which they so graciously provided. We did bring on a new fire marshal to strengthen fire prevention and compliance efforts. We brought someone in with some experience. We also promoted a new deputy chief over operations and to help with administrative duties. Training is one of our strong suits. We average over 10,000 a year across 10,000 hours, a year across all personnel. So I kept this in from last year of the cost of what it is to build a firefighter. And it's around $10,500, give or take. And this is just to bring somebody in off the street. Does not include their salary, their benefits. It's to completely outfit them with what they need to be successful at this job. So I believe my pie chart might be missing.
All of the pie charts are at the end of the presentation.
Oh, they're at the end. Okay. So some major equipment purchase costs. The Quint single rear ladder is 75 foot. It comes in about 1.75 million now. It's about 18 to 20 months build time. There are lease purchase options that we can get in on today's pricing and not make payments until the truck is delivered to us. The Quint serves as a combination of a fire pumper and an aerial ladder truck. It is a lot smaller and more maneuverable than your platform, and then can serve as a first out engine as well. Our small city would benefit very well from this type of combination. Currently, we have our battalion vehicles, a 2011 Ford Explorer, our Engine 1, which is the newest fire apparatus we have. It's a 2020 Sutphen Monarch. Engine 2 is a 2011 KME, and Truck 2 is a 2000 E1. It's a 95-foot mid-mount platform. Engine 2 is reaching 15 years old, which is the NFPA recommendation to move a fire engine off the front line and into reserve status. So a Quint would be able to replace Engine 2 as a first out engine as well as an aerial apparatus. I went ahead and included our current ambulance situation. Right now, we're doing well. We have Medic 1, Medic 2, both Fords, the oldest one being a 2019. We still have our 2010 Chevrolet if needed. We're not currently looking to purchase an ambulance. I just did want to note that my most recent quote was $300,748 as opposed to what we paid for 2023, which was $236.
And that's totally equipped.
Same thing, exact same truck, just a few years newer. We have the need for a new battalion vehicle. The industry standard is a pickup truck style vehicle with exterior compartments that can carry fire equipment. And the idea behind this is you can carry the equipment needed, all the spare equipment, hoses, air packs, air bottles, without contaminating the inside of the cab that personnel occupy. And the build time for this is approximately 9 months, and the cost is around $130,000. Our self-contained breathing apparatus, we currently have 2 different styles of Scott air packs. One of them has a threaded air cylinder, and one has a quick release. The threaded ones were the first one we purchased about 12 to 13 years ago. Chief Tom Morris was still here. And we added to that the quick connects. My main thing is the safety being is we have 2 different types of air packs out there. So when we get out and everybody's in operations mode, everybody's moving around and it just hinders our safety of having to change these bottles. These air packs have a life of about 15 years. The cylinders are hydrostatic tested every 5 years. So those threaded air packs are reaching kind of their end of their recommended life. So we need to replace 7 of these breathing apparatuses. They're about $10,500 a piece, and each air cylinder is about $1,300 a piece. You would need 2 air cylinders per air pack at a minimum, and the total cost for this is $91,700.
Now, Chief, are these items in your current proposed budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that includes the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It includes the battalion vehicle, not
Does.
necessarily the plant. Not necessarily the plant. Yes, sir. So as I was saying earlier, City of Hapeville Fire Department, we truly are a unicorn here in the county with being able to run our own ambulance transport license. And not only do we do that, I can say that we do it with a degree of professionalism and sort of a investment in the community that I feel second to none. If you get a Grady EMS truck, you're going to get your base transport $1,750. And we do it at $869. That's for an advanced transport, so it's about half the cost.
And that's what we bill to the
Correct.
passenger's insurance.
Yes, correct. Transport, it's you can't look at it as a fund generator, but what it does is it provides that safety net for our community to know that we have 2 of those trucks on the street right now.
And if you're in cardiac arrest, those minutes could be
Time.
there between life and death.
Time does count, yes, sir, absolutely.
Chief, when
Yes,
it's,
sir.
when it's necessary, rare occasion for a Grady EMS to be called in, I know that's happened a few times over the years.
It happened to you.
Yeah. Does Grady bill that, or do
That's Grady, yeah, Grady bills for
we
their
don't have
transport.
anything to do with
We
it?
do not. And we, of course, our fire engine will come and render aid to you until they arrive, but the fire engine
But
does
you
not
have to be
bill for that.
transported
You have to be
in.
transported by them, so they will charge you their rate. And that goes for any neighboring agency as well. We rely sometimes Forest Park, Morrow. Rarely, there's not as many private services around anymore as there used to be. And very rarely we'll see Clayton County. All their rates are higher than ours.
So for clarification
Yes,
purposes.
sir.
Since we do have advanced ALS capacity, what would be the circumstance that Grady or another surrounding?
The main circumstance is when we've exhausted.
All the resources?
Yes, sir.
Or they, like the stroke truck, they need to?
I've seen the stroke truck come out once. They also have whole blood trucks now. And they are at our disposal. We can call them if needed.
And then if we transport, sometimes it can take, with traffic and everything, transport to Grady it could be a 3-hour round trip, right? Because you go down there, you get the patient in, you gotta clean the linens or whatever you do.
And a lot of times we have wall times as well, because we're still being affected by the closing of the 2 local hospitals, AMC South and the main campus.
Just a point of understanding, you mentioned we do not have an ambulance, is that right?
We do have
We do have an ambulance?
We do have 2 ambulances.
So is that the same thing as a medic transport?
Correct.
I see, okay, thank you.
Excellent. Some of our goals, we want to continue to remodel and update our fire department facilities to ensure compliance to our modern safety standards and operational needs. We need to make some accommodations for ADA and such. We want to make 4 lieutenant promotions. We've had several retire over the last couple of years, so we've had to move lieutenant to captain, battalion chief. It's created some lieutenant openings online. We utilize off-site training facilities to allow personnel to utilize our equipment in the environments that we really don't have available to us in the city. This strengthens our operational readiness and the safety of the community and the firefighters. And we always want to continue to attract and retain entry-level firefighters. I feel like the entry-level firefighters, they have a little bit more investment. They have the job satisfaction, have the job security, stability, good health benefits, and the pride that comes with a profession that holds the public trust. Training members professionally, it builds teamwork and cohesion. I feel the younger guys grow up through the fire service together. Chief Robertson came on a little bit before me, but ultimately we've been here as long as I've been here together, 22 years. And you get to know a person very, very close over that amount of time. So it also gets veteran firefighters with experience, the ability to mentor new members, and it builds community relationships as well. Confident firefighters take pride in their organization, and they're not just coming in for, just to bounce around from a department to a department. They understand what the goals and the focus are of the organization. And also you train firefighters, and it provides a better quality of service to the community. And it can be a great attraction for people to tell others that they know that might want to get into this line of work.
Do you find that we're somewhat suffering the same thing in fire as we do police, that the pool of candidates is shrinking but the demand is increasing?
Absolutely.
Or is it a little bit different in firefighting?
No, sir, it's absolutely the same. Chief Robertson and I are both second-generation firefighters. Both our fathers over 30 years in Clayton County. I grew up wanting to do this.
Right.
I feel like people don't do that anymore. Everybody seems to be more inspired by what's going on in modern times as far as influencing.
Being an influencer.
Yep.
Make the big bucks.
So,
I miss my calling.
so yes, sir, we are experiencing that drop in the pool to retain.
And the competitive nature of other people trying to get your people.
Yes, sir.
Other cities.
Yes, sir. We, like Chief Headley says, we move up, they move up, move past. It's just a constant
Right.
race to the top. So here's a graph of what it costs to run our department. 80% of it's personnel cost. With that, we were able to increase some salaries over the last year to be a little bit more competitive in our market. And like Councilman Adams was saying, my vision is to create a path that people can follow to be as successful as they want to be. There's a goal that's measurable, that's attainable, and they can see where they can be financially. And So equipment debt service is close to $500,000, and then all of the projected expenses, $438,400. We're in a spot where we're slowly trying to replace equipment that's gotten a little bit older and worn. As I was saying, the air packs earlier, vehicles that are coming up with modern industry standards as well. And with that, do you have questions for me?
Any questions for Chief Gunn?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Certainly in the recruiting process, there's an initial visit when the candidates are invited in to come and meet with somebody and see what kind of facilities we have. And so my question is, given the state of our current facilities, and I know we've had conversations about that and we're working on that as fast as we can, what impact does that have perceptually on their decision to remain a candidate with Hapeville Fire?
Honestly, it's negative, and I'll be honest. A part of our process is we do show them what we are, what we provide, what kind of vehicles and or apparatuses we have, and what kind of facilities we're housing them in. I just had a gentleman come from Fayette County. He interviewed. He was a strong candidate, paramedic, 8 years in the fire service, and decided to stay where he is. Didn't say why.
Yeah.
You know,
But the condition of facilities certainly aren't a plus on the checklist.
no, so the facilities do attract.
And we are, just so the folks in the audience will understand, we are working on that process as we speak to modernize those facilities. So,
Thank you.
okay, any other questions from Chief Gunn?
I had a question for Tim. I know this has come to our attention on council relatively recently, a year ago,
Right.
condition of facilities. Is there a way that we can, I know it's a process, but SPLOST or GMA programs to update facilities?
We met with, why am I totally drawing?
Ossoff.
Ossoff.
All right. Ossoff.
Sorry, I just drew a total blank. We met with Senator Ossoff's folks a few weeks ago, and we put that at two things that always wall on 95 that we've been talking about since I was a baby, and the situation with the fire department, about any resources that they can help us attract. And he did, he was supposed to have gotten us some information, Tim, on some funding.
Right.
So
And
if he hasn't done that yet, let's follow back up with him.
yeah, he said he'd closer to the time where the next.
Right, because
next
we
round.
were at the end of the funding cycle. But there are some funds available for brick and mortar, so some federal funds. Of course, with everything getting clawed back, we probably wouldn't have gotten anything this go around.
More likely for equipment than for than day-to-day operational costs, but you know, there may be some opportunity there, and we'll look at those other costs.
While we're talking about fire, years ago when we bought the ladder that we have, we did a special tax district that pays a separate tax. That might be an area that we could look at a small increase on.
One of the things we actually have started looking at, we'd actually started at is expanding that because there have been some additional hotels.
Right.
But they were specifically named in the original ordinance, so we have to come redo the ordinance for that. So there may be some opportunity
Well,
for
let's
that.
put that in the hopper because, and I think we need to look at the height. I forget, how many stories? Was it 4?
4.
4 or above?
Right.
Maybe we need to look at trimming that down to 3 stories. And that might open the door up to expand that special tax district to help those who would need that type of equipment pay an extra.
Ready to follow.
Yeah, pay an extra millage.
Is it right, the current ordinance just apply to the taller hotels?
Doesn't have to be, I don't think it has to be just the hotels. But it would be a building, I think it's more on the building height as opposed to.
Yeah, we did it, I think when we originally did it, we did it based on height.
Yeah.
But that's some low hanging fruit.
Stories, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. I
And we
think
get
it's
some of
great.
our money back from Delta by just putting them.
I've got a name for it, but I won't say it publicly.
Well, I don't have a question, I have a comment. I would say, I just want to say thank you to both you and to Chief Headley, because I think that this, since I've been on council, this is the most informed and transparent approach that I've seen. And a lot of stuff that has occurred, we've always been not that well informed about it until, such as the state of our current facilities here. We were asked the questions and we're here that everything's okay, but sometimes bad news is a bitter pill to swallow, but sometimes we need that information in order to be progressive and make the improvements. So, I thank both of you guys for your leadership and being transparent in your approach here for the city.
Yeah, because it's refreshing when you have two leaders stand up in front of a group of elected officials and say, irregardless of what you've heard in the past, we've got problems. And when we have problems with retention, we have problems with facilities, we have problems with equipment, and all of that equates to money. So, but the fact that y'all both have the kahuna, so to speak, to sit here and say that, it shows it is a great attribute of your leadership, both of y'all's leadership. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief?
Thanks, Greg.
Very important.
Thank you for your time.
All right, Mr. Young,
Public Works.
Lisa is all dressed up tonight.
At least you're tucked in.
It must be telling me something, because I had 2 or 3 people in the office go, wow.
It must be the color scheme. You always dress nicely, but it's something about the color scheme.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So I am Lee Sudduth, and I reside at 3 different places during the day, usually South Central, Clare Drive, and North Fulton Avenue. So first of all, if you want to go ahead, highways and streets. And for me tonight, mine may be a little bit brief, only because I have some enterprise funds. That's a whole different. This is all general fund tonight, but the highways and streets division. Some of the things that we have accomplished, we completed the restriping of Sylvan Road crossing, and I think that's been successful because I haven't heard any complaints.
I think so too. Yeah.
It was a good first step.
Good transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were pleased with that. We did a change out of all of our dilapidated street name signs. We want to do all of our traffic signs, and that'll come. These signs are really expensive too. But we did that. We also completed the CDBG project by adding new trash receptacles and benches in 3 of our parks. We completed the South Central sidewalk replacement project at I-85. That's in front of our new shop. I call it new still. We completed paving of Russell Street and Commerce Drive. Some of the things that we want to do in this upcoming budget year is we want to pave Rainey Avenue, Gordon Circle, and Myrtle Street. And we also get LMIG funds to supplement this. And we use our T-SPLOS funds where we can also. If it wasn't for the T-SPLOS, we might be in trouble with our paving and the LMIG, because we get a lot of use out of that, and it's helped us to stay above the water on that. We want to complete the North Central sidewalk replacement project that runs from Chick-fil-A to Sam Hay Plaza. We are currently having conversations with GDOT to get that all approved. And that is probably the worst section left on North Central. We've had a lot of complaints about that, so we're excited about, and that's also T-SPLOS funded too. We also talked about doing the citywide sidewalk point repair project. That's where we'll be going into the neighborhoods, and if we don't have the money to do the whole sidewalk, let's just fix the ones where we have the huge cracks, and to make everything ADA. So that's also going to be coming out here the next month or 2.
Can I add another thing to your list?
Yeah.
Along the rail corridor, the fencing we put up, the wrought iron looking fencing, It's been mowed and all over town. Could you maybe put that as a goal to work on some of those?
We can do that. You'd be amazed at the folks that are running off the road hitting that.
It's unbelievable, and I kinda knew when we put that fencing up, it was
Yeah.
gonna be an ongoing maintenance issue.
Mayor,
But
I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, please.
Did you say it's been bowed or mowed?
Bowed, it's just bad, people bump into
Both.
it.
Both.
Equipment hits it, you know, it's just,
We've had them replaced. I think it's probably been hit 10 times this year, I think.
yeah, it's
So
gonna be an ongoing, I'm sorry.
So with that question, that hit that many times, do the people stop and report that they hit it? I know that we onboard ourselves on a program that if they damage city property, that we can go to insurance pays for a certain amount of it. So are we capturing that?
We've caught a few, but some are like delivery trucks that'll come at night and they hit it, and we're riding down and say, oh, how'd that happen? So it happens quite often. But yeah, we did recover, I think maybe 2 or 3 of those that we did recover, and we had somebody, I don't know what they were doing. how that
It's not
happened.
earth shattering stuff, but just.
Right. Again, we'll complete the LMIG application for more paving funds for 2026. All right, next slide. So, Public Works Administration, formerly known as Parks, Buildings, and Grounds. For some of y'all have been around for a while. So, I will start off by saying we do have 2 buildings that are nearly 100 years old. So it's a constant maintenance for us. We did install a new AC unit at City Hall. We installed a small emergency generator for the downstairs floor of the Hoyt Smith building. We did that not so that we could house people, but in an emergency situation, we can set up lights, we can put people down there, and we needed somewhere where we could do that, and we repurposed an older one, so in the emergency, we had something bad.
You can't power heat and air though.
You can't with that, but we can do portable heaters, portable AC units,
Space heater.
and light, so we have somewhere to go. And that building downstairs is really cool in the summertime, being
Yeah.
below ground, so it's perfect, to get a tropical
And it's
storm.
basically a bomb shelter too, so.
Right.
It was built in that way.
It was built that way.
And that lets us have temporary housing until Red Cross and the chief and them can do their thing. So we were excited about at least being able to get
Yeah,
that.
that's great.
We installed a new sign at John Lewis Park, which got rave reviews by everybody.
Yeah.
Looked great. The CDBG folks really loved it. They were not coming to see that, but that's what they raved about the most. So,
I saw you one day with a tour bus parked.
Yeah.
And you were leading a group of folks through there.
that was it.
That was just.
I was gonna show them a project, but they wanted to look at the sign, so I said,
CDBG.
hey, I'll take it. But it really looked nice, and I think we're all proud of it, the way it looks. And the guys took a lot of pride in just selecting the area and what it did for the park. We also put up new signage at Jess Lucas Park. Did some flooring in the police department because it was about as bald as I am. And needed it bad. We installed the 4 new AED charging stations in the city parks for the fire department. What we're looking forward to, September 8th, hopefully, the CDBG pump track construction is going to start. We're excited about that. We do need to replace some of the old carpet squares in the scout hut, as they have seen their best days. We also want to install a large hill slide at John Lewis Park with future CDBG funding. We never know how much we're going to get, but these hill slides have become pretty popular. Noonan has done quite a few in other cities. We have a big hill up there that we've cleared out. So we'd have the pump track, the walking track, and hopefully these hill slides, which actually, though they're long and tall, they're very safe because they're close to the ground. So they have even young children that are using these. as I said before, if one thing about our folks is your garbage man is your landscaper, is your plumber, is everything. Our guys, when they get hired, we tell them, we can't tell you what you're gonna be doing on a daily basis, because it'll be anything. It could be doing garbage, it could be putting up signs. So we try to tell everybody that you're gonna have to be cross-trained and do whatever you can. Basically, our pie chart is basically about a 50-50 split with our expenses and then our personnel. As I said before, that personnel, on a daily basis, they'll be doing something different every day. But they're the hardest working folks I know, and they're good people, and they care about the city and what they do.
Any questions for Lee?
Lee, since we started using the app, the My Hapeville, Georgia app, which provides a direct link from your phone to the report of concern form. The form was always there, but it was, embedded in the website. Have you seen an increase in those types of reports coming from residents?
We have.
Report things? Okay.
We have.
I said you wanted this morning.
Yeah, it works great. Well, you're the leader on those. We haven't counted officially. Huh?
Are you the late complainer?
No, we haven't counted officially. I don't know. I was just kidding with you. No, we do. We have seen an uptick, and it's been good because.
Catch things before it gets.
Yeah, we can catch it right away, and we tell folks all the time, just call us. If there's something there, just call us. We'll get right out and get it done. But it has been successful.
Well, the one thing I see on social media quite often is praises. I see praises for all of our departments, but the thing that is the constant source of praise is the quick response. And that's true in public safety, but it's also true in what they do. Somebody will let Lee know something about a problem, and by the time the sun sets that day, in about 80% of the cases, it's gonna be fixed. And I'm a stickler for the gang markings that they do where people throw shoes up on utility lines. That drives me insane. I'll call Lee and text the chief and Lee together and say, hey, we got some shoes up, and they're gone. By the time I come home from work, they're gone. So I appreciate that, because that stops other things from happening when you deal with those kinds of things on the front end. It's the broken window theory kind of thing.
We have learned with some of the graffiti, we carry spray paint around with us, the color of metal, the different colors of things we have. Because sometimes the graffiti will take off, especially on the signs, it'll take off the sheathing. Yeah. So we carry around spray paint with us, and if it's something that's a hard surface, we go back over it with the same color that it is, and just reach, it's the easiest way to do it.
We could just get DOT to do the same thing and do also.
That would be nice.
One other question. Have we officially retired the name of community services now?
It has officially been retired. It's no longer on the building there in North Fulton. If you look up, it is gone.
All right.
But it has been retired. Back to public works.
Back to where we started.
Yeah, right in the beginning, that's correct.
That hill slide's not gonna be like the old metal slide when I was a child.
Where you burn?
No, it
Third
is
degree burns on a
not.
hot summer day?
Right. I remember those slides.
I remember too, you used to pour water on there and watch the steam come up.
Well, we don't have any of the twirler things that launch you off either.
Yeah.
No, they are plastic. Thankfully, we got enough shade up there too that would help with the plastic.
That'd be a great addition. All right, any other questions for Lee? Thank you folks as well. All right. That looks like
Should be recreation.
recreation's next. Call that Nichols.
I always follow police, fire, and public works, but hard job. And
You're a certified leisure professional, so.
From the Sun Boys.
Pretty good at leisure's in your title.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council, staff, and wonderful citizens of Hapeville. My name is Todd Nichols, and I reside part-time at 3444 North Fulton Avenue. That's Hapeville, Georgia, 30354. I'm going to give you a small synopsis of our recreation department and what we do for the city.
Who that fat guy?
Somebody asked me to put that there. I'm gonna tell you who it was.
Yeah.
So our mission is committed to serving the recreational needs of all city residents, regardless of age or program need. The department offers a wide variety of learning and leisure time programs, facilities, and services to the community. And next slide is a picture of our staff of all the positions that we have. Currently, we have 16 with 1 vacancy. 2 months out the year, June and July, we'll have 28 because 12 will be seasonal part-time recreation aides, which is AKA our summer camp counselors. One vacancy we do have is the buildings manager, and we did most recently hire an assistant special event coordinator, and she's done a wonderful job with us thus far. Some of the facilities that we oversee and maintain is the Christ Church and Carriage House. The depot, even though I don't oversee the depot, but we do share maintenance responsibilities with the newly named Public Works Department. We oversee the Hoyt Smith Center, Hapeville Memorial Stadium, Jess Lucas Park, Tom Morris Complex, and of course the Scout Hut. And all of those facilities are pretty much up for rent, and we do rent those spaces out. We just had one recently, the Scout Hut with the block party that we had last weekend that also went along with Wings and Strings, of course, the event that we had up at Jess Lucas. We do not rent out the depot. I'm not sure if some of them rent that space out, but I do know they have nice and wonderful exhibits that they host up there.
Before
Yes,
we
sir.
move on, do we maintain the stadium year round?
Yes, sir, we do. It's in our.
All grass cutting?
We do all of the irrigation, the grass cutting, and the trash as well. These guys come and pick up the trash every Monday. That's there, and throughout the week, we have our guys go out and pick up loose trash. And there's the grass is cut every Monday, and that's not only just the stadium, but as well as Cofield Park as well, and Jess Lucas.
And that's the group that we outsource to?
Yes, sir. They've done a wonderful job, by the way, too. That grass is nice and plush. Some of our services that we have, the aforementioned facility rentals that I just mentioned. We do have a program. We offer 22 different programs for children, adults, and senior citizens. That's ranging from sports leagues and camps to arts and crafts classes and fitness activities. This year we provided 3 state champions, and you were gracious enough to host them all here for the ring ceremony, and that was the 5-year-old football team, the 8-year-old basketball team, and just most recently the 12-year-old baseball team. Special events, we host 24 special events throughout the year, including community festivals, holiday celebrations, and services. We begin in April with our Easter extravaganza, and we continue throughout the year all the way to November, and we close out with the Hapeville Fall of Holidays, and we just added, we'll be responsible for Juneteenth come next June. Of course, it was started this year by Sharik and Samantha and the rest of the staff that helped out, but that'll be another one that we add to the list. We thought about 4th of July, had discussion about fireworks, thought about the dogs, thought about people with PTSD.
And the airport.
The airport.
And the expense.
And the expense, and we looked into the drones that Councilman talked about. We looked into that. That's a little pricey. So we're probably going to look at maybe a parade, maybe some type of celebration to have something small and just something cordial for the families. That's kind of basically the only holiday that our staff have off. So they kind of asked me to not make it so long, but they don't mind doing it though. We do have open gym. We maintain an open gym facility for community members to use for basketball, as well as pickleball. We have a fitness room downstairs, newly equipped fitness room. So we replaced everything in the cardio room. So we replaced 2 treadmills, 2 ellipticals, 2 bikes, and also a stair climber, which no one has used yet because they said it's too hard. So we're looking for we're looking for some people to get in there and use that piece of equipment.
I probably need to volunteer judging by that photograph.
I don't know if you want to. That's a difficult piece of equipment. I tried it out.
Gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah, start on the treadmill.
Start by getting up off the couch. That's a good place to start.
You're right about that. Looking ahead, we're looking to expand our programming. We have a growing community here, so we're looking to offer more diverse recreational activities and programs that cater to our varied interests of our growing community. We're also looking to improve our facilities and upgrade and maintain the existing recreation facilities to provide a better experience for visitors. Just mentioned the upgrade of the fitness rooms, and we also renovated the bathrooms down at the baseball fields, and we did also the bathrooms just recently at the concession stand in the football fields, as well as the concession stand at the football field. So slowly but surely, we're getting around to some of our buildings that need some tender loving care. So, it's a slow process, but we're getting there. And our next one that we're looking at is, of course, our baseball concession stand. That needs some loving as well.
Who operates the concession at football games?
Sometimes we have different teams do it for their fundraising. We don't have a certain group that does it. Not like we have.
They don't have like a booster club or anything.
No, not like we have the exchange club doing baseball. We do it for fundraising for the groups. They have different needs with uniforms and extra uniforms and equipment that
Does
they
your
may want.
department stock it?
No. Anything that they're selling, they buy.
That's great.
Yeah. So the only thing that we do is provide the facility.
Yeah.
That's it. We're looking to increase funding. The boost grant was gone in 2025, but it's coming back in 26. And the last 4 years, I think we were averaging close to 60 to 70,000 a summer. From that grant, it was a difficult task this year. That kind of fell back on the parents a little bit, and we heard about it, and we told them what it was. But GRPA has recently said that they're bringing it back for 26, so we'll be applying for that, and hopefully we'll get that again. The last couple of years, we got the Boys to Men grant from GRPA, which is $10,000 per grant. We just received it again. I think it just came in probably a couple of weeks ago. So we're looking for more funding through grants because the general fund is it's a tough cookie, So and Tim nodded his head over there. And it's tough for all of us. All of us have our wants, all of us have our needs, and there's just opportunities out there that we all have to go out there, just try to bring in. That's why we're here. We're also here to enhance marketing, develop a comprehensive marketing strategy to raise awareness about our offerings and services. And I think y'all have seen some of the TikTok things that's been going on that our staff has been doing. Most recently, the wingman that we just did for Wings and Strings, I thought was pretty good. And
I think you've been following that as well.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that one, but yeah, they got me one with the
They've done a
cheerleader.
that's cute though. They've done a really good job.
Yeah, and that actually, a lot of that has come from our assistant special events assistant. She has a real knack for social media.
And she's really good at interfacing. I noticed at Wings and Strings the other night, she's a very vibrant speaker. She likes to get everybody fired up and get them going instead of just going, "Hey, how you doing?" She gets up and cheers them along.
And it works out because Fabi isn't that person, So
Everybody's got their gifts.
Yeah, it works out very, very well. And
she did a great job.
while you mentioned, I was sitting there watching her doing the announcements, doing Wings and Strings, and I turned and looked at Fabi, and Fabi just over there just smiling, because she was excited that she don't have to get up there and do it because she just feels like she does not want to be talking in front of people. She has no problem with doing the events, but just talking to everybody, all eyes on her. So.
That's great.
Our pie chart there, 57% is projected personnel costs, with 41 is all other, which is all of our expenses from supplies to utilities and everything else. We are pretty much like everyone else. Our fleet is very, very old. A lot of our vehicles are hand-me-downs from the police department, which we appreciate. But some of them are getting close to aging out. So while it's not in this year's budget, but in the forthcoming future, we'll be have to ask for, a couple more vehicles outside of the one that we had gotten, I think, maybe
Did y'all
4 years
staff
ago.
expedition?
It's still there. It's on its last leg. It's
They've been around for a minute.
it works when it wants to.
2001.
Yeah, it works when it wants
The
to.
one thing I say about our vehicles, we get our bang out of it.
You get your mileage and money out of it.
We really do. Yeah.
Our last one was the van that you guys kind of helped push forward for us that we got 4 years ago. So they get lots of usage, from our children to our seniors. And it's been a great help and great addition to the program. So that's pretty much it for me in a nutshell. I'm here for some Q&A and song and dance and anything else you guys like to do.
Council, any questions for?
Yeah, maybe either you or Tim probably answer this. What percentage of TPD covers staff salaries for the rec center?
For the rec center, well, actually, I'm gonna guess at it right now, but we get about.
We have a total of, I think, 7 employees over there.
Right.
On that side over there, we have a total of 7 employees.
What, I didn't quite get the question.
The TPD, how much of the
It may be-
TPD?
and
pays for?
Out of the 7,
Those are our
18%.
tourism trade facilities.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Out of the 7, 4 are part-timers. I believe 4 are part-timers.
How much is your total budget? Well, I can answer that. Actually,
On that side,
on that side.
I didn't prepare for that side.
Okay.
But I
We
want
can
to,
break that out.
yeah, I want to say it's, I'm not gonna tell you a story. I'm like George Washington. I cannot tell a lie.
I can give you that. I can shoot that number to you tomorrow because I don't want to guess. I know how much CBD we have, and it funds a portion of that part of rec and for the depot.
I just wanted to, I love the rec department. I'm sad my kids aged out of the rec department because I don't have a reason to go there every day.
You come work out.
Tell me about it.
I need to come work out. But my comment was just a compliment because I worked for the City of Roswell for their 4th of July celebration, and other than it being bigger, we offer just as high quality, I would even argue better, for our residents. And I've seen with the events kind of the numbers, and a lot of the events are on a very modest budget for what we're able to deliver. So I just appreciate everything that y'all do.
Thank you very much.
I think y'all squeeze the bang for the buck out of everything you do.
I just told Tim that today.
I'm really glad that we have gotten that new equipment because.
I heard lots of complaints about it.
They're not really using it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
old.
but thanks for making sure that came.
It was old. It was some
I
stuff
kept
in
telling
there.
people, it's coming. So now I can honestly say.
There was some stuff in there that I was using when I was 17 years old. I'm 22.
Oh,
You're 22?
I'm 22. Yeah,
How time flies.
I mean, I'm telling you, 5 years went by just like that. I'm telling you.
You just in Florida a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I was 16 then.
I remember.
Todd, I want to just say thank you also for all that you've done. These meetings annually are so enlightening, and we can hear from departments individually. I'm also glad to hear that the fitness equipment was upgraded because I know we talked about it a while back, but I haven't actually seen it. And I'm also glad that you've got this new assistant person who's doing the marketing, and sounds like she's a digital native. I would love to see some high-quality video and images of the fitness. I know it's in the basement, so it's not something that you would intuitively know is available. And so I think a lot of local residents might take more advantage of that if they are, reminded in social
Fabi
media.
said she wanted me to be in a video so I could go down there and break in the Stairmaster. That'd be a great video, right? That'd be funny right there.
No, you're actually correct because I just met a gentleman that resided here for 26 years and he didn't know it was there. And we talked about it. I told him about it. He showed up on Monday and signed up, and he was actually here today working out.
I didn't know about it until, I came down looking for that old piano at the time.
Right.
But I did have a follow-up question on the Memorial Stadium.
Sure.
When you speak about our maintenance of the stadium, it sounds like you're referring to the field itself, the grass, the marking, and so on. Well, what about, I just want to clarify that I understand that the seating areas of the stadium, or what used to be seating areas of the stadium, I see people sitting on the old home side of the football field because perhaps it is available and you can just physically sit down on that old concrete. The other side of the stadium is fenced off, it's unusable. But is that because we as the city do not have access or right to improve the seating areas?
Well, we have the right to improve, but that's Fulton County's property. The whole stadium is Fulton County's property, and we have a IGA.
Yeah, IGA.
We have an IGA with them, and I just did another proposal because ours expired in December of 25 this year. So the concrete seats are the responsibility of Fulton County. You know, I wouldn't ask the city or the city residents to put that on us. But however, we are responsible for the mowing of the grass, the picking up of the garbage, anything that's surrounding
Years past, we've invested all the lighting down there was an investment from the city.
Yes.
The irrigation system was an investment from the city.
The fence.
The sod was an investment from the city. The fence was, so we've poured a lot of money into that facility.
And also into that IGA that we've had, and we've had it for years, and we've had that we will replace the track for a 2-lane walking track for citizens, but not until they fix the visiting side of the seating. Only because if we replace that and they bring in these heavy trucks and run over that track,
It all up, yeah.
and then they tear the track up, then we got to replace the track.
So I would anticipate, and you can correct me, is that when you say Fulton County, you mean Fulton County school system?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
And I had reached out to them before, a few years ago, and their response is, well, now that it's an elementary school, there is nothing in the charter for elementary schools that includes a stadium, therefore we're not doing anything. It's a stalemate.
Yep.
And I don't know how we get around that because it's an eyesore, it's on a busy thoroughfare, there's nothing we can do. Everybody wants to have something that looks attractive, that is accessible, but nobody can do anything because of their,
Everybody draws a line in the sand.
You're referring more specifically to the seating.
Visiting
the
side.
seating, yeah.
And to piggyback off of what you said, I even approached them about selling that property, the football field, back to the city. But they weren't interested because they said if they end up selling the school to someone else or giving the school to someone else, they want to include the field. So it's, as you said, it's a.
Years ago, with Fulton County, we had Fulton County's headquarters was in Cleveland Avenue, corner of Cleveland and Springdale Road. And we had folks that we knew could communicate with and would advocate for small cities, not just us, but the Tri-Cities especially. We have people advocate for us. And now the school board's like a big conglomerate corporation. And I was extremely disappointed with them when we offered to buy Josephine Wells and they tore that building down.
Right.
You know, saying that it was unfit to be
Put up a parking lot.
Right.
bull, you know, the rest of it.
Newest building.
Yeah, one of the newest buildings in Hapeville from an education.
Not new, but newer.
But we've lost that, and it goes back to my theory about education in general, and that is we've lost community schools, and when you lose community schools, you lose part of your soul. And we've lost part of our soul because we've lost community schools, but we've also lost from that conglomerate level, we've lost the care that they used to have for smaller communities. Because normally, if we wanted a building like that, they would have given it to us for $1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And if we ever have the opportunity to have to deal with Fulton County on property again, we would put a clawback clause in there that says it comes back to us if you quit using it. And that's probably something we need to be checking on North Avenue's facility to check the deed and see if there's any reversionary clause in that deed. Because we probably deeded that property to them way back in the early 1900s, I would think, but I don't know. That's something we probably have to look at.
We tried to get the old clinic at the back of the, right at the top of Claire Drive as well, but to no avail, you know.
And they don't, I
Just
hate
sitting
to say it, but they really just don't care.
there. Yeah,
We
just
had
sitting
a
there.
separate meeting with the commissioner.
Yeah. it doesn't matter.
Is there, I mean, I know that the school and then the board of commissioner, they're also governmental entities, but is there some way we can claim eminent domain for something? Because Fulton County in particular, all North and South Fulton County, and then they also have facilities in like the health centers in the city of Atlanta, they're all dilapidated. We're not
Well, they're two
special.
separate arms. Board of Education is totally separate from the Fulton County.
No, I understand that, but just the, old health building is Fulton County.
And
And
Mike and I met with Mo Avery and had a conversation with her and told her we want that building. And again, it falls on deaf ears for them, just like
And,
everything else.
the track is the school system, and I understand they're both governmental entities, but they both have the same approach. They have all these dilapidated properties, and they don't care for them. And they have no intended use, just like Joe Wells, they told us all that nonsense, they had no intended use for that building. And now it's
No, it was gonna be, when they expanded that school to the
K through 8.
K through 8 model, and then that got shelved, and then so the whole discussion,
They didn't want to give up the land.
they didn't wanna give up the land.
So I don't know if there's something we can do that might, I don't know, put us on the bad side, but.
I'll certainly look at it, but I do know that schools also have the right to eminent domain as well. They take the damn property because if it's used for a public purpose, that's the whole point of that law, but I'll certainly look into it.
So the long and short of it is we can't improve the stands until we improve the track, and we can't improve the track unless they say it's okay to.
Short, we're not gonna improve the track until they improve the stands.
Right, so it's a.
Yes, it's a stalemate.
I guess we could mount a grassroots effort, and get the community to engage and just bombard Fulton County and on both sides, the county commission for the old health department building, because we really need to get control of that building. And then the future of the teachers museum is up in the air right now. I keep hearing rumblings about that, and I'd hate like hell to see that property disappear. So we probably need to just do the old grassroots and, how much of a pain in the butt do you want me to be, so.
Yeah, their answer to fixing those bleachers over there was just fencing it off.
Yeah.
That was their answer.
And that's why I said, I know I've asked this question about the field in particular, because you used to be able to walk that field, and now it's just like disintegrated.
It's dangerous
Daylight
now.
today, it's like half of it's underwater. If there's opportunity to get the field replaced through a grant or something like that, I would still advocate for it, because I don't think they have any intention of fixing the bleachers. Like, if they did, it would destroy a potential track, but they won't. So it probably won't happen.
Okay, so we'll look into replacing the track.
Well, FCS, if you're listening, your facilities look like a concentration camp. Thank you.
Except the part that we take care of.
Except the part that we pay for.
And they're not listening.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm gonna turn this over to my brother Randy Brewer for
Randy Brewer.
Actually, Adrian.
Remix.
What? Adrian.
Remix.
Adrian.
Adrian Center.
Adrian,
Economic Development.
economic development.
Then Randy.
Never end. Sit tight, Randy. See if you can find $1 million or $2 while you wait back there. Talk to Melvin Trainer about it. He said he'd write you a check. He got some charitable contributions he needs to do this year. Adrian, how are you?
Good evening. I'm great. How are you?
Man, we are living the dream.
Adrian Center, part-time resident of Hapeville City Hall, 3468 North Fulton Avenue.
Probably stay there when you stay at your house, don't you?
We'll start off with giving the opening slide will be highlights of our Economic Development Department. The department focuses on attracting and retaining businesses, supporting local entrepreneurs, and promoting job creation. Additionally, we work to enhance the quality of life by supporting the growth of commercial and mixed-use developments, promoting tourism, and ensuring that the economic initiatives align with the city's long-term vision. Next slide. Contrary to belief, Mayor Holman is not a member of the Economic Development Department. Our staff includes the Planning and Economic Development Director, Main Street and Grants Coordinator, the Economic Development Specialist, and our City Planner, who is a consultant. You can go back one slide. Thank you. Like many other departments, I am pleased that we are now fully staffed after several years of various vacancies in the department. With the hiring of our new economic development specialist and of course our Main Street and Grants coordinator, who will celebrate her 2-year tenure with the city in October, we are able to now fully take on projects, and that's what we've been working on. To bring a new employee into the economic development department, it takes a year and a half to get them fully trained, and I can honestly say we have an incredible department staff.
Yes, you do.
Next slide. With a full team in place, we've been able to build some momentum and make some progress on some initiatives. We've been strengthening business retention and expansion efforts. Redevelopment projects were just shy of 1,100 new housing starts, attached and detached. Approximately $75 million in total private investment in the city. Our marketing outreach, including our social media engagement, has tremendously grown. If you're not following Hapeville social media, you're doing yourself a disservice. It is amazing. Website visits and media coverage has been also amazing. Some of our events and programs include the Southern Circuit Tour of Independent Filmmakers, the Butterfly Parade, 2 gallery crawls. We just recently hosted a gallery crawl back in July, and it was awesome. Streets filled, music, it was an amazing event.
Great.
The artist residency program started this year. We host, along with the City of East Point and College Park, our Tri-Cities Merchant Mixers, which brings businesses together for networking and collaboration. Business meets and greets. Ribbon cutting events have increased tremendously. We are doing ribbon cutting events several times throughout the month now. And the Georgia Cities Week, that's held in April of every year, and that also helps increase our community engagement. We've accomplished $60,000 in grant fund awards, $15,000 in sponsorship received. That also includes in-kind sponsorship, and $10,000 in application fees, which includes film permits. Also to highlight a few initiatives, we have a very active Main Street Board of Directors. I'm sorry, Terry, next slide. To highlight a few of the Main Street Board's initiatives, the Butterfly Lantern Parade, 2 gallery crawl events, free arcade drill events, artist residency, and looking to continue several site improvement projects, the art containers, the mural projects, public art, and several areas of beautification throughout downtown. Next slide. Of course, with growth and progress also comes challenges. We're looking to implement some policies to address vacant buildings and key redevelopment sites, lack of retail business spaces, decrease in potential funding resources for businesses. Just recently, the Main Street and Grants coordinator held a business meet and greet over at,
Chatterbridge?
nope, just lost it. Yep, I forgot the name of it. But they, no, it's Mario, Cafe Bell, sorry. So the businesses, she had about 35 businesses that attended.
That's awesome.
Just to talk about, what do you want? What can we do to assist? What can we do to help? And she had a questionnaire, they filled out the questionnaire, did a survey, and those will be held at least twice a year to bring businesses together and to find out how can we assist. And another thing that's a challenge in our department is the rising construction costs, which is impacting feasibilities and timelines.
One quick question before you move on.
Yes.
You said this was Nikki that hosted the, at Cafe Valley?
Yes.
Did she hear a lot of complaints about the alley behind North Central businesses?
No, she didn't mention anything to me about that.
Because when I go in 1 or 2 businesses on North Central, that's about all.
Okay.
Is access to the
More,
alley.
yeah.
What we can do to try to
Downtown parking.
open that up.
Yeah, downtown
Not
parking.
necessarily parking, but just pedestrian
Yeah.
access.
I think the long-term goal, and I think we've talked about this before, was extending the arts alley
Yes.
down, through there.
On the other side, yeah.
That's another initiative that we would like to pursue. Of course, that would come with the cost of purchasing some right-of-way,
It's
so,
a mismatch of property owners.
Yeah.
yes.
Do you think that this allows to have like an easement?
That's all I was gonna ask versus
Versus-
purchase,
yeah.
make an agreement.
Yeah, we could probably work out an easement or something with folks.
Yeah,
But you gotta have willing participants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it's a win-win. If we get access to provide pedestrian foot traffic as well, and it beautifies the
And
area.
then that could help link the parking by City Hall, be easier to get to that, to get people up to, they won't have to walk quite as far.
right.
And I think now with the swimmer van,
Yeah.
Yes.
and, cause I know that was a barrier before, and then with folk art on the end, it just kind of changed the sentiment about being willing to do it easy.
Yeah, I'm just afraid when Swimmer Man opens though, they're gonna need that parking again for themselves, and we're gonna be back.
Well, if we did an easement, then that would
On
create
the
a
rear,
thing
it would
for
have-
us to expand the existing parking lot with access to.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fits in the long-term goal for sure.
Yeah.
Well, short-term goal.
Yeah, we can definitely look and see where we can.
Start a dialogue, that's all.
We started that dialogue before, and I think, previous owners were hesitant about moving forward and kind of put the project at a standstill, but now that we've got some new owners, maybe we can revisit that.
And I would just suggest on that, if you can get some buy-in from those business owners to do some basic improvements to that back alley without doing the big overhaul extension, it would vastly improve accessibility, perception,
Or maybe in turn
Safety.
of easement, maybe we could assist with some of the costs of
Yeah.
doing that. And that might make it more appetizing.
Look at some
If
funding.
you haven't walked behind those buildings recently, I would encourage you not to, because it's quite.
It's overgrown, yeah.
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 Rodents, a lot of rodents back there too, I'm afraid.
Mhm. My pie chart there. Okay, and some opportunities that we are looking at, developing an RFP to secure an economic development feasibility study, which will help us identify prime redevelopment sites positioned for investment. Also continue to increase community engagement. The picture there is from the 2025, Georgia Cities Week, Touch a Truck. The elementary schools come. They have a great time over in the parking lot over at, in front of City Hall. All the departments get together. Everyone participates, and the kids absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a great day.
One of the things that's at the forefront of our goals is to always maintain Hapeville's small town charm. That is always, when we're considering anything that we're doing, any developments coming into the city, that is at the forefront. Next slide. Again, economic development is comprised of 3 divisions: economic development, planning and zoning, and Main Street. About 42% of our budget is personnel costs. Projected equipment is right at about 7%, and all other projected expenses are 51%. Next slide. And happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Fred?
I had heard, because I inquired recently about the status of the 2 long empty buildings at Dogwood and North Central. One of those, the old shoe repair shop, and in summary, I heard that, unfortunately, those properties fell into probate, which is a long process, but that hopefully that will resolve this year, and that those properties will possibly be on the market for sale. So, I don't know if that's something that the city can leverage somehow, or because that's just one part of that whole end of town, and how do you solve that end of town, because it's a hodgepodge right there.
I think we've had a number of developers who have inquired about those properties, reached out to the owners at the time, and then there was pushback on selling. I'm hopeful that once it comes out of probate, that they'll be a little bit more eager to place it on the market. It's a very, very prime location in downtown. Mhm.
And I'm sorry, one more quick question. Do we know who owns the surface lot that's right behind that across from the village?
We do.
It's
Cora.
Okay.
Clay?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I know that we did a moratorium on multifamily, because all of that area we were just talking about is UD, right? So it
Yes.
allows multifamily with conditional use.
Yes.
And we talk about small town charm, someone coming in and building multifamily there, but like destroy. Like, I feel like that's a corridor that we just take for granted for what it is. Cause right now, I mean, we have a few high density developments, but when you talk about footprint, townhomes aren't really that high density once they're built out. But that needs to be addressed sooner rather than later, cause I don't think we did anything significant as far as,
Well, I think that keeping it conditional use gives us the ability to say no. I think that's kind of what we talked about doing before, was just making sure we had that safety valve, so to speak.
well, it gives us the ability to say no,
But that's
not
good
whoever comes next.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's true. And so, I think that really needs to be addressed because that is really.
I don't have an appetite, personally, I don't have an appetite for any more multifamily.
Yeah,
I mean, big multifamily.
in code, it needs to be addressed because right now, that's the only vacant property we have that would absorb that sort of density.
And what we promised the residents is we won't let that density encroach into the neighborhood. And when you get right there, you're right on Estelle Street, so there you go. You're starting to push just a little bit more over that way.
Yeah, and like what Councilman Alexander said, I know we talked about before, I don't have appetite for multifamily.
Yeah,
I
I've told
think
people
that we
to
best,
ask
we
about
just can sound, kind of like just hardwired to make sure that we can prevent it, because like you said, if those that come after us, they can change it. And
Well, anybody can change anything we
Yeah.
do, but I mean, it's all about the vigilance at the end of the day. And the only way, with the property values going up, the only way for a developer to make money is to do high density development, whatever that may look like. But again, I think my own personal opinion is we're multifamily out right now. Once this Elm Street project comes online, that one over there, I think that's density maximus for me personally.
I agree.
And it also rules out opportunity for, retail. I mean, I think it's proven in a lot of cities, like you look at East Point College Park, retail on the bottom doesn't work in places like.
I'm surprised that it doesn't, but it hasn't worked, it hasn't worked well up here for Signal.
Yeah, and
Because juniors didn't work out. There's a few other, I think there's a dentist office there, I'm not sure.
I think it's the type of retail too,
Yeah.
that plays a part in it.
it's, I mean, you look at East Point, you look at Deer Park, there's some of the models, and it's been years, and it's just a rotated, like the nails and wings work. But that's not more what we want, and so I think when you allow that sort of density in those areas, you are removing future or potential opportunity for other uses for things that we don't have.
Because I know like in West Midtown, their retail, until they jack the rent up, those retail under those multifamily, they work well.
Yeah.
I mean, so it just depends on the type of business to me that you get.
I
It
think
is a
that's,
challenge to housing as well.
from a zoning standpoint, that's probably something we need to look at.
Yeah.
Is in that zone, maybe restricted multifamily.
Yeah, I'll definitely get with Dr. Patterson and see if there's, something we can do in terms of the text.
Probably even look at maybe doing a moratorium sooner rather than later, until we figure it out.
Right, okay, definitely.
There's another area of town, that I'll mention to you later, that maybe she could look into as well, possible a text amendment to rezone it, but I'll share that with you later.
Okay, okay. We're hoping that when we secure that economic development feasibility study, communicating that to them and letting them know what we're looking for, and then that gives some great recommendations on how to move forward.
Very good. Council, any other questions, Fraser? Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty.
Now, man.
Where's Mr. Brewer, what's that next?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
How are you, sir?
I'm Randy Brewer, keeping with the theme of tonight. I'm coming to you from 3468 Customer Service Drive and 3468 Bean Counter Avenue.
There you go, boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
Yes.
It's like,
And-
and the audience says, don't.
They didn't consult me on this. Just on
Todd, blame Todd on that. And we're representing Customer Financial Services. First of all, go ahead, Sheree, please. Customer Financial Services. I want you to meet the team. We have 4 wonderful people. The first one is Melanie Hinton. She's our property tax specialist, and she's fairly new this year. She's doing a wonderful job. The next person is Charity Holton. She's involved with the occupational tax clerk and also business license and short-term rentals. She also does a wonderful job. And the next person is Nafisa Valentine. She is our lead customer service representative. And our new person, which I think I sent out an email today, is Keisha Borkin. She's our part-time. The reason why she is in that position because we need the other people in that area to focus on the dedicated work to be done. So she come to lend some administrative and some backup assistance for the team. Okay?
What, we call her part-time, a certain number of hours?
Yes, a maximum of 58 hours bi-weekly. That is correct. She's not a full-time person, 58 hours maximum.
Bi-weekly, gotcha.
Bi-weekly. And the next slide is the mission statement for this particular team. Again, I can't stress enough what a wonderful job they do, but their main mission is to provide exceptional customer service to our residents, to our customers, to our internal and external staff. A lot of times when people need assistance, not only outside, but our department, they call on this team and they are Johnny on the spot to assist them whatever it is. The next slide, Sheree, if you will. The Customer Financial Services Department consists of, you can't do any of what we do without starting with customer service. That's their main focus, is to deal with that part of it, to smile in the heart of people coming in and maybe not treating them or saying harsh words maybe, but they smile and do the work that needs to be done. That is tremendous, and you can see the different things there. And the next part is the occupational tax part. Again, I mentioned Charity Holton. She does a wonderful job. Issuance of new business license renewal, business license compliance, and the list goes on as you can see there. The next section is the property tax. Melody Hinton involved in that. She collecting bills. Let me just stop there and say this. We here talking about budgets, and we can't balance the budget. We can't do the things that need to be done. Police, fire, and other department wants to be able to do the things they do. But they can't do any of that until these ladies in this particular department collect the monies needed to fund those areas. I know we get grants and other things, but they do a wonderful job, and they bring in the money. I come in here many council meetings, and the first thing that is told to me by Mayor Holman, I will put you on the spot and find that $2 million. And these ladies, there are $2 million to be found, they will find it. Okay, go to the next slide. Yes, Tim, you smile over that. I see you, sir. The next slide is the pie chart for the expenditures for this particular department. 56% is projected personnel costs, and the 44% is all other, consists of contracted services, supplies, and a few other expenditures in that particular area. The next slide, if you will, is Department of Goals. As you can see here, we've been working on the Encode Tyler technology software for many years, and one of the main goals is to upgrade that software to move from Encode 9, version 9 to version 10. Version 10 provides a whole lot more features that enable the actual staff to do more things. We're in talk with later by Tammy Baker, who's our representative. Hopefully we can kind of move to that. That will enable us to do more things that we can do now. One of the main things in the accounting and the customer financial service area, we do a lot of things manually. We're trying to move from that platform to automate these processes. This will enable us to be able to do a lot of things that is needed to be done. So that's what we're trying to move to.
Now, on your software, is that cloud-based now, or is that?
The Encode 10 is cloud-based. That's
Cloud-based.
Yes, sir. And the other goal is the new office space to upgrade customer financial services, office spaces, the desks and what have you. In order for them to do the work, they need to be able to feel comfortable and do the work that needs to be done. So I'll talk with the staff. So this is not me actually doing this. I interact with the team often and ask them, tell me what your goals are, so we can kind of get that out there, put it forth, talk to our city manager, make sure we can get those done. So to the new office space is one of them. The other one is increased funding. What it says, marketing awareness about customer financial services. This is basically creating marketing material in order to, we need funding in order to do that. So I know that has been talked many times in here about making sure we put together a package to give to our customers in order for them to understand more about the millage, understand about property tax value, those kind of things. This is part of that, creating those packages in order to give our customer base the understanding that they need. So that's what that's all. The other part is the billing outsourcing. Right now, when we're in the month or the period of getting ready to do our property tax billing. And when we do that, we actually do the various pieces associated with the billing ourselves. You know, we actually send this out and get it, put it in, I guess, mailing, and then we come back and package it ourselves. But in order to get somebody to do it, it would seem to be more economical to make that happen. It'll be a one-stop place to make all of that take place. That's what we're looking forward to doing. That is one of the goals. And the other one is the increased funding as far as training. In order to be able to equip the staff in order to do the work they need to do, they need the training that's sure to be done. And so increased funding there will be very helpful. And with that, I'll address your question before I get into the finance and accounting side of it. Any questions? If there's a question, I'll jump right in. On the finance and accounting, Department 1510, our main mission here is to ensure the fiscal integrity of the city. I'm sorry, Sheree, am I jumping too fast? Go ahead. Is to ensure the fiscal integrity of the city by exercising due diligence and control over the city's assets and providing timely and accurate reporting under the guidelines of generally accepted accounting principles. To meet the staff of finance and accounting, we have Adrian Williams, who is our accountant. We have a newly person, we've lost a few people over the years, but we brought in a new senior accountant by the name of Kathy Stargell Clark. I think you guys met her via email the other day, and I appreciate you guys reaching out to her, and of course myself. The next slide, if you will. Some of our the summary of responsibilities. The fiscal management of the City of Hapeville, maintaining accurate and financial and accounting records and providing timely reports for management and citizen review, establishing internal controls to protect and preserve the city's assets, budget management and compliance, debt management and capital financing, financial analysis and financial planning, work closely with independent auditors in preparing the city's annual audit, and provides related support services to other city departments. Next slide, please. Some of our goals in the finance and accounting department is to provide timely financial data to facilitate the proper administration of the City of Hapeville. Next is to prepare budget reports for approval and subsequent distribution by print and the internet. Coordinate annual audits with city auditors, provide account analysis, reconciliation, and audit schedule to expedite the audit process to complete the annual comprehensive financial report. The next one is to maintain high level of professionalism, accounting, and reporting standards worthy of the Government Finance Officers Association. This certificate we receive every year. And later on in the slide, I'll show you a couple of certificates that we have received, which we pride ourselves. When you're in our line of work, we do not, I mentioned in just about being county, and that's our address, but we do not, we work hard in doing the work that we do. But the main test that we receive, I appreciate the kind words that others give us for the things that we do, but the true test of what we actually do and to let us know how well we're doing it is when we're audited, okay? Because auditors come in and we actually prepare those reports and communicate with them as to what's going on. And they come back with a clean audit report. You see that, but to us, that let us know that we've done the work needed to be done.
Yeah. Proof in the pudding.
And of course, if you go to the next slide, Cherie, this right here is performance measures, inputs and outputs. These are some of the things that you know how well we're doing. I call these the inputs, the direct expenditures, the gross wages for this department, finance and accounting is $502,121. The full-time equivalent is 2 staff in this department. The output here is then you know what's going on. The number of revenues and expense reports generated after month-end close by department or fund. We have 20 departments that we actually have to run reports for. And the other funds, we have about 14 different funds that we work with at every month end. Okay, and then this next section below is the percentage of external reports submission within 6 months of fiscal year end. What this is basically saying that at the end of fiscal year end, we have 6 months to generate certain reports to external agencies. And we have done all of those. These are the highlight one 100% of the time. We have 6 months to get them out, and we basically met the deadline of getting all the reports out timely. The next slide, if you will, it says performance measure of effectiveness and efficiency. In past years, we used to generate revenues and expense report to council monthly. But we changed that from quarterly to monthly, that is. And the number of bank statements that we reconcile each month is 18 bank statements. Let me say that again. 18 bank statements that we reconcile monthly. There's one main pool cash account that is basically the main operating account for the city that consists of all the payments for all the funds go through this one account that we have to reconcile. I mean, that's a lot of transactions. There's a payroll account, and then of course there's 16 other accounts that we have to reconcile monthly. The next item is percentage of bank reconciliation that's completed within 10 days of receipt of the bank statement, 100%. So when we receive the bank statement at the end of the month, we receive them probably about maybe the second or third, maybe fourth of that month. We have 10 days to complete. That's our goal, to complete that month-end process. And we have completed that. That's our goal. And the only reason why we haven't lately is because we have some turnover. We're in catch-up mode trying to get that taken care of. But we're replacing people, and those that left, we have replaced them, and we're trying to get back situated so we can kind of produce in the manner which we have done in the past. And the next item is the average number of days to complete the annual comprehensive audit. After fiscal year end is 166 days. What that means is that I mentioned to you 6 months, based on our fiscal year, like used to be June 30th, now it's pushed to September 30th. So normally we have like 166 days to generate the actual reports needed to submit to our external agencies. That's what that is. We do that timely. And the other efficiency is operating costs. per full-time equivalents is $75,007, meaning that of the total amount of the payroll or personnel cost was $225,022 divided by 3 people, is the average cost per person is about $75,000. That's what that means.
So we're running a $19.5 million budget with the finance department that's
At
spending
that rate, yes, sir.
$250,000 in wages. That's amazing.
And then going to the next slide, it is the pie, as you can see on the screen. In the finance and accounting department, 67% of the total cost to operate is $335,000, and the other 33 is all other, consists of contracted services, professional fees, which basically the audit costs and other things are included in that number as well.
So your personnel cost includes all of the benefits, retirement.
All benefits,
Fully
that is
loaded,
correct.
yeah.
Social Security,
Fully loaded.
wages, that is correct. And let's go to the next slide, if you will. These are some of our accomplishments for the year. We've implemented the new title technology, project accounting module that enables revenues and expense tracking over multiple years. That is a big deal because we have a lot of different projects, mainly with some of the department that Lee is involved with, a lot of the department that Tim is involved with, and others. We're able to identify all of the expenditures and track them by project. And if we do it in our current accounting system, you can only do that per year, because at the end of the year, those revenues and expenses turn over and you're not able to see them. By using the project and accounting system, you can track over multiple years. And if you want to go in and see the details of those revenue expenses, you can do that in the system. We can do that today. That's what that represents.
How many years of reporting can you maintain?
In the project accounting system, it's
Indefinite?
It's indefinite. It's numerous years. You can go back and track that. We put them in. We set it up. When we set up that particular project, we give it the begin date and end date of how much we want to track. It's 10 years. We can track for 10 years.
Okay.
That is correct. And the next one is we successfully completed last year's annual audit by receiving a plain unmodified audit opinion. And we also successfully changed the city's fiscal year end from June to September. We pride ourselves in that. That was a lot involved in that. We were in the middle of budgets. There was a lot of things happening. And the team that we came together, we communicated with city manager and others, and we made that happen. No, that was a big deal to align the fiscal year change with our digest, and we made it happen kind of seamlessly. And I appreciate everybody that's involved. And of course, I think I mentioned about the Government Finance Office Association. So you will see a certificate later dealing with that. Let's move to the next one, if you will, Sheree. These are some of our key desired initiatives. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier, to upgrade Encode software from version 9 to version 10. And the next one is to define better ways to streamline our credit card mapping process to better assist staff with bank reconciliation. And what's behind this is we have a lot of credit card transactions. When people hear about bank reconciliation, you just think about maybe reconciling your own bank account, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. But when you're dealing with credit cards and going in trying to reconcile, trying to identify what's in the bank to what's on your books, and a lot of times the credit cards it's not like $100 here, it may be different variations. So to be able to go in to map that, we're using Encode in order to do that. We're using American Express, credit card items, we're using Visa, Chase, and to be able to go in and do that, right now it's a manual process to go in and do that. We're trying to find ways to better streamline that to make it much
Just
better.
on the receivable side or the payable side?
This is basically both. This is every transaction that is on the pool cash side. We have to go in, but the credit cards, this is the receipt side as well as the expenditure side. Exactly. And,
Mostly receivables, most of our collections, water collections, et cetera,
water and property tax, et cetera, but.
It's a lot to
Yeah,
track.
it's everything, exactly.
Exactly. You can move to the next slide, Sharif, if you will. The key opportunity, I will say here, I plan to present something to you about some, where we are with the credit card user fees. I believe there is some tremendous opportunity that we will kind of bring back to you later, where we're charging our customer a set amount per credit card use. But if the truth be told, if you dig into the layers of it and look into the history, we're covering a big chunk of that expense for the city. And at some point, we're gonna need to deal with that.
This is
We're not prepared.
vendor payments?
These are
This
credit
is
card payments. These are
Processing,
convenience
yeah,
fees.
yeah,
We charge
convenience
almost
fees for
like
people paying their
$1.50.
water bill with a credit card.
Okay,
Correct.
We have to pay 2 to 3%.
Yeah,
Correct.
right.
yeah, that's kind of what I meant, when I said vendor, I meant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
customers.
Yes.
you know.
That is correct. Right now,
Everybody.
we're charging customers about $1.50 per credit card transaction.
That doesn't
But
cover.
the credit card companies, Visa and American Express, they are charging us a lot more in order to absorb that per transaction. Again, we were prepared to do this, but being the man that he is, city manager, he's been in the deal with numbers. What we don't want to do, and if I can be transparent, what we don't ever want to do, we don't ever want to come to you. I know you got to trust us to do what we do, and I appreciate it. But we do not want to come to here and give you false information. We want to make sure we vet it. We want to make sure we go through it and bring you correct information. That is the reason for that. But the bottom line is, we need to revisit this area because there is some opportunity there. Okay?
There is.
So, next
It's
slide.
only
please.
gonna increase.
And this right here is kind of give you a little bit, this is kind of a short version of what's happening per past 3 or 4 years. I don't want to get into it, as I said, we need
Yes,
to dig
skip
into
that
it
one.
deeper. This right here is dealing with the credit card receipts
Skip that
and
one.
expenditures.
Skip that one.
So
Yeah.
we'll move on, okay? The next slide is basically the certificate that I was telling you about when we do the work that we do in the Custom Financial Services and the Finance and Accounting Department. That's when we basically receive this particular award. And we received this in the past 8 years in a row. And this is the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. We received this for June 30th, 23. And then if you go to the next slide, we received a different award. It said Award for Financial Reporting Achievement. This was awarded to our finance department for that same year. And for the 8 straight years in a row, we received these particular certificate. And we're very appreciative and we work hard to receive that. And that is the end of my report. Any questions?
Any questions for Randy?
I did have one, I'm always curious about vocabulary that I don't know about. Is there a difference between a clean, unmodified audit and a clean, modified audit? People often ask me, tell me about our city finances, and I'll say we've had clean audits for the past several years. And I leave out this word unmodified because I have no idea what it means.
The unmodified means that they didn't have to go in and it's a good report. You don't want a modified.
No journal entries.
It was unmodified. They went in, reviewed everything was clean, and they giving you the very best opinion they can possibly give you.
So there's no such thing as a clean, modified audit?
No.
I got you. That's what I need to understand.
That means they have to make financial adjustments to journal entries. to
Journal
make those balance.
entries,
They
things of
weren't,
that nature.
yeah, they weren't done right the first time.
Well, hold
Kinda,
on.
sorta.
Not that
No.
they weren't.
Point of order.
I'm not an accountant, so.
CPA point of order.
Yeah, I'll trust the CPA to answer that question, not me.
So answer that question probably more fully. A clean, unmodified audit just means that they probably didn't have to make any prior period adjustments, et cetera. And it doesn't really mean that there was a quality, there was a compromised quality of the staff, but there probably was nothing that happened in a prior period or et cetera. A modified, like a clean modified opinion might mean that they had to go in and make a prior period adjustment. It may not have been anything that was the fault of the, of the staff, it may have been a completely timing
Like a
issue.
miscoded
Right.
transaction or a timing
Like,
issue.
nothing is.
Clean is clean,
Nothing egregious.
yeah, clean is clean, so as long as they say clean, you can generally feel good about that.
Bottom line, no malfeasance.
That's right.
Right. The bottom line is, if you see something that's
No
clean,
forensic audit.
If you hear,
that means it's
yeah.
good.
if you hear the word unqualified, an unqualified opinion, that's a good thing. If you hear qualified, that's a problem.
Exactly.
I had a question about credit card fees, and I just logged into my account. Hapeville is the only utility bill we pay that charges a fee, number one, and also doesn't give you ACH transfer as an option. So is it a possibility to relieve both the city and the residents from paying excessive fees to look at our provider for that service to figure out, and it could be a cost thing, to collect those fees?
Well, we're looking in several different options, since this is a tremendous expense, but right now, the customers pay by credit card mostly. They come in on the web or online, or they come into our office and pay by credit card. But as for going to an ACH, that's not really an option for customers to pay that way at this point. We pay ACH, we have bigger customers that want to pay, they go into our account, but customers,
They can wire the.
I'm sorry, I
Is
didn't
that
mean ACH transfer. I meant I can, for Georgia Power or the
Right.
gas bill, I can pay using my bank account
Yeah.
and avoid any
Right.
fees, if there are any fees, but I don't believe they even charge fees for a debit or credit card. That's my question.
Well, a lot of private businesses don't charge those fees. My customers pay me, I absorb probably $50,000-$60,000 a year in credit card fees that I have to pay. American Express is the highest, it's like 3.5%, something like that.
Correct.
And all these credit cards you use with all the perks and stuff, the merchant's the one that pays for all those perks.
Correct.
But the problem is like when I'm doing permits, for example, Gwinnett County, I have to do a permit tomorrow with Gwinnett. I have to pay a permit fee, but they'll charge me probably $35 as a transaction fee to help offset the credit card. So a lot of governments are charging the fees where private sector is not, but I think you're gonna see more private sector people start to charge those fees for credit cards.
But the thing is, but to answer your question, no, we don't charge for ACH payment, we charge for credit card. Now, on a personal note, for me, what's kind of stunned me, I went and had some dry cleaning done for me. If you pay by, you bill time, pay by credit card, they're gonna charge you a fee, right? And that's pretty standard. They charge you, so they're passing the fee on to the person who's buying. If you use a credit card, now, I felt like if you use a debit card, you're like cash, they won't charge you. Now they're charging you a fee to use your debit card nowadays.
It's because
So,
Visa, MasterCard,
it's
everyone's
going
monopoly and they're
all over
charging.
the place.
And the problem with the ACH, I'll have customers that pay me, and it might be ABC Corporation. But ABC Corporation, when they send an ACH payment, it says XYZ Building Group or something like that. And no invoice number, I have no idea where to apply. So that the ACH has another layer of manual stuff.
Right, that's some administrative stuff on the other end that you have to do
can
when
be
you can
very
identify it. So it's almost like you paying the extra. There's some other things involved. And the other part of it is you get so caught up in doing the work that needs to be done, and these credit card companies charge you a fee. You get so caught up in just booking the transaction over. That's why we have to look into the details of this. We will. Then you don't understand how much you expense or the cost associated you look at it in the end of the year, whatever. It's just an ongoing expense. But this is definitely something we have to look into.
And the credit card companies set most of those fees. Your processor can save on some transaction fees and stuff, but your big percentage fees are set by Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. They're set by the credit card companies themselves.
So right. And the other part of it is we would love to be able to do the due diligence, looking into the details of it. But when you have 2 and 3 staff members and we have to continue to do all the work, you may not have the time to go back and do that, which is needed, and we will do it, but sometimes you don't have the staff to go in because that's not as, I would say, as priority as some of the top of the things we need to do, but we need to do them all. But the cost of it is still there. We need to vet them all. So I just want to say that. Any other question?
All right. Thank you, Randy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
That answers sufficiently.
Human resources.
Yes,
Total.
but I still think that a transfer from your bank should be an option. It can relieve some things.
So-
ACH was the wrong language I was using.
Well, I know, yeah, I mean, I do that with all of my.
Talking like on
accounts, so-
Usually you pay a vendor
Right.
with ACH. not the
Yeah.
other way around.
So we will, it may be a limitation, it might be a limitation with Encode, it might be a limitation with our version of it, with Tyler, so, but that is something, I'll take that under advisement to look into.
Right. Okay. All right.
Again.
Human resources.
About time somebody figured out what our title is.
There you go.
Stacy Johnston, City Hall, second floor, 3468 North Fulton Avenue. That is my daytime address. So I'm going to be hopefully a little short and sweet for y'all. So we are Human Resources and Payroll. We have a department of 2 people, myself and Jeanette Americh. So I'm the director, she's our specialist. We both do kind of similar, very different things at the same time. Our mission statement is to hire, support, and keep the best people for the City of Hapeville. We protect fair employment and equal opportunity under state and federal law while building a motivated, highly trained team that delivers exceptional service to our community. And we feel like our customer base is both internal and external, with prospective employees, and retirees. So we try to serve them all to the best of our abilities. Some of the human resources functions are, of course, onboarding and orientation for new hires. We administer all of the benefits, whether it be health insurance, medical insurance, the pension. We deal with employee relations, complaints, any compliance issues, developing workforce policies and making sure that they are enforced correctly throughout each department. We definitely work on compliance with federal, state, and local laws and labor laws. We oversee the workers' compensation program and all of the parts that move and go with that when it comes from the initial report, making sure that our employees are getting the proper medical care, and then following through all the way to the end. We also oversee a pretty successful wellness program that was implemented a couple of years ago. I'm the pension secretary, the risk manager, and right now Jeanette is actually at a conference in Macon to become the new risk coordinator, which will open the doors for us to be able to apply for a couple of LGR and S grants. We've never had an opportunity to do that before, so we're very excited about that. When she gets back next week, we'll start on that project. We also work to make sure that our fire and police are up to date and aware of new opportunities that come for them, such as the PTSD program and the firefighter pension fund. Some of our payroll functions, of course, those are kind of obvious, but we make sure that we process and review employee timesheets and attendance records. We'll point out to department heads if we see patterns of behavior, attendance patterns, somebody that has, if they're out every Monday or something like that, we'll point out patterns like that. We calculate wages, overtime, and any special pay adjustments. We're very careful. I know that in the grand scheme of things, pennies are just pennies, but when you're talking about an employee's pay, that penny is significant. So we're very picky when it comes to that, and I'm sure they can attest. We've sent many of PAF back to say we've got to make a couple of adjustments. We ensure compliance with wage and labor laws. We manage the salary schedules and pay grade structures, which, Councilman Adams, I'm glad that you mentioned that because that is definitely one of our current needs that I'll be talking about. We do handle all payroll-related inquiries from employees. If we make a mistake, we rectify it as quickly as possible. If an employee makes a mistake with, say, their direct deposit, we help them to fix it. Excuse me, and we coordinate benefits with providers to make sure that all of the deductions are taken out of the employee's paycheck correctly and then turned over to finance for processing. We have some critical departmental needs, but I'd like to highlight some of the accomplishments that we've had since she and I became a team just a few short years ago. We have gone completely paperless with our applications, and the new hire process is almost 100% paperless now, and it's all done through the Paycom app. We have automated all of the benefit feeds, so when our employees go through open enrollment, which is mandatory every May, we've taken out the risk of human error where I would have to go in, change the benefits, manually do what their deduction is going to be, make sure that if there's a husband or a wife or kids, that they're in there correctly, so that it's almost eliminated when I have to reconcile bills every month, except for at the beginning of the year when we have new changes like this last month. We almost have no errors. So when the employees go through open enrollment, they know that what is on their benefit record and what they're paying is correct, so they can be confident in that. We have also made it to where certain things they have to put in, like for the life insurance that the city provides. We make sure that there is a life insurance beneficiary because we never want a situation to happen again where there was not a beneficiary and something did not get paid. Never want that to happen. So we're very proactive about protecting our employees.
Because that has happened in the past.
Yes. We have significantly streamlined the payroll process, and we're working to make it even more user-friendly and hands-off for both us on the payroll processing side and on the employee side to make sure that they can see their timesheet and their paycheck before it's even processed, so they know that it's correct. And if there's an issue, we can address it before it even happens. So we've been able to correct a lot of that. And then we also moved our 457 provider from Mass Mutual to Mission Square, and we expanded the offerings. We now offer both Roth and regular deduction options with a flat percentage a flat dollar rate or a percentage. So those are just some of the things that we've accomplished. We have lots more on our plate in the future. But to move to some of the critical department needs that we feel are very important. And again, Councilman Adams, I'm glad that you mentioned the salary with steps and grades. I feel like that is definitely a critical need at this time. We do have a salary schedule. Is it consistent at this point? Not completely. We all work very hard to ensure that when we bring new people in, the hiring is consistent, the wages are consistent. But if we had a step and grade system in place, everybody would know where they stood. They would come in at the same place. And we also talked about earlier, we've got people who absolutely want to grow in their role and they want to promote. Let's say in fire, you want to go from firefighter to lieutenant to captain to battalion chief. But you've got some people who are so good at what they do, they're happy staying a firefighter, EMT, or a firefighter paramedic their entire career. There's ways that we can compensate them if we had a consistent step and grade system in place across the board.
Now, when we get that done, will we have some cost analysis that goes along with that?
There would.
So we can see, because what I fear is having a discussion about that, getting a study done, and getting recommendations back, and then the employee's expecting something, but it comes time to fund it, how do we pay for it? Because that's where we're at.
That's where we're at, right. It was actually in the budget for this year, and I went through at the beginning and I got quotes. By time I was able to go back and say, okay, we're ready to start thinking about moving forward, the costs had almost doubled. And that's within one fiscal year. So it became financially impossible because it was well outside of what was budgeted. But I think that even if we did it in baby steps, it would be something that we could accomplish as a team. Another one is we need updated and current job descriptions. The last time there was an across-the-board update was in 2008. as a human resources department, are actively working to update job descriptions. In fact, Jeanette and I are working with Captain McGinnis in the police department right now on part of the certification process to get the job descriptions updated. But we all know I'm hidden away on the second floor of City Hall. I don't know what Officer Moore, Corporal Moore, does on any given day. What Ayla does as the new assistant in the rec department. We don't know those things. We need boots on the ground, and that does require a cost investment and a cost study, or a study on what people do, because the jobs that we're describing from 2008 to 2025 are very different. Technology is very different. So that's just a need that I think should be addressed sooner than later. 2 people can work as hard as they can, and we have created, because we've had so many new positions, we have actually created from scratch probably 20 or 25 job descriptions, but it's not enough. We need more. And
But
then
it's in progress.
It's in progress, yes. It is a work in progress. And then the last thing is laserfish, and that is something that has been on the table, and I believe somebody else will be talking about this as well. But laserfish would help us go completely paperless. And because of the size of our city, and I bet Cherie's gonna be able to maybe speak on this a little bit better than me. Because of the size of our city, we're in a very unique position for the cost that it would be to implement 2 departments with laserfish. The entire city would have access, which we could split the cost, make it more fair across the board, because then the entire city could be paperless.
So this is cloud-based record storage, basically.
100%, yes. And it is true cloud-based, because once the records are in laserfish, they become the official document, so we could get rid of the paper. And we wouldn't have to worry about, in a building the size, the age of ours, if something were to happen and we lose critical information that we cannot get back. And it automatically sets up state and local retention laws. So if you have an open records request and it's outside of the retention, that information is gone. Whereas now, if you get an open records request and it's.
If you got it, you got to produce it.
If we've got it, we have to provide it.
Right.
Absolutely. So I think that could help across the board, police, fire, with all of the open records requests that we get. I think it would definitely speed up answering open records requests. So I think it could be helpful for the entire city. And I have an updated pie chart, because I was very excited to see that between Jeanette and I, we had $481,000 in personnel costs. But that's not quite accurate. If you will see, there's actually $277,666 is for our retirees.
Wow.
Who I will say are
Still
my
personnel.
favorite. They're my favorite group of people. I love the employees, but
And
I
they
love the
you.
retirees.
They love you, but that hasn't always been the case for personnel.
Well, they are fantastic. So it is a total of 481,000, but again, 277,660 is our retirees. So we have a couple of different levels of retirees that I would just like to explain. We have your true retiree, which they work their entire career here. They quit or retire and they start drawing their benefits immediately. Those people are entitled to life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, and in some cases, depending on what they had when they were still active, a stipend after they turn 65. That is a very small percentage of our retirees. The vast majority of them are the ones who work for a period of time, they get vested, they quit, and they move on. So they get their 5 years or their 10 years, they quit, they move to another city or another industry, and then when they turn 65, then they start drawing their retirement. They're only entitled to GMA. So we have 55 current retirees that are getting life insurance. We have 16 who have medical insurance. We have 2 that have medical insurance with their spouse, and that's from a grandfathered in plan. And we have 1 that is him, his wife, and his adopted children, and that's from a very grandfathered in plan, long time ago. And then we have 16 with dental, 13 with employee plus spouse, and 1 family. And again, he's the grandfathered in. The folks that have on medical that have their spouses, they have to pay the same as what an active employee pays. And the one gentleman that has a family, he has to pay what an active employee pays.
Now, future retirees won't have that rich of a benefit from.
Future retirees cannot cover spouses or family members, just themselves.
For medical.
For medical, yes. They can cover themselves and the spouse for dental, but they pay for that premium 100%. The city does not pay any. And it is not very expensive. For single coverage, it's $424.44 a year. For spouse, it's $887.16 per year. When we took over monitoring the retiree payment rates, we were collecting about 30% of what retirees owed. We're now collecting at 100%. And again, we've got 55 that have life insurance. The cost for that is $14.16 per month. $14.16 per month. So $778.80, or about $780 a month, total of $9,350 per year. And that's to cover everybody for life insurance, which, having dealt with several retirees who have passed, it has been a great help and a great comfort to the families. I walk them through the process and make sure that they really don't have to do anything. I kind of do everything for them and say, here you go, take this sign, and we get it taken care of for them. I know that we have a white glove approach for our citizens. I have a white glove approach for our retirees
And
too.
thank you very much for that. They paved the road we're standing on today.
Exactly. And then the other part of the retiree benefit, which is an even smaller portion, it's only 34 people. When you turn 65, you are no longer you're no longer eligible for our plan, for our medical plan. You come off, and the city starts paying you $265 a month for the rest of your life, and that's to offset the cost of Medicare. But again, there's only 34 retirees that qualify for that, and the vast majority of people coming up will not qualify for that. And that's really all I've got.
And you're doing all of this with 2 people, and you have no clerical support.
We are the clerical support. Okay. We support each other very well.
I say that because I hear from people all the time, you know, your millage rate's too high, y'all need to cut the fat. And I keep reminding people that there ain't no damn fat to cut. Because you're doing this, I mean, look at our budget, and look, we've got a 2-person personnel department that's handling how many employees, how many full-time employees do we have?
About 135.
Okay, and then the retirees.
About 150.
It's remarkable to me what y'all handle and how you have transformed that department into something that people love that they used to hate because they couldn't get answers. People would call, they wouldn't get calls back. People send emails, they wouldn't get responses. And I'm not hearing that anymore. And you're doing it with 2 people. It fascinates the hell out of me. It really does. So.
Thank you.
Any questions for
And attending funerals.
Yeah, and attending funerals
retirees
too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any questions?
Not a question, just a comment, and you may have already thought of this, but in terms of updating job descriptions so that they're synced across all departments, you might want to look into some tools available through AI.
I decided that it was worth doing a subscription to ChatGPT, and I'm part of an organization called GLGPA, and we support it's a statewide organization for municipal and county HR people. If we put out an email, somebody will say, I need a job description for a wastewater manager. We don't have that. But if somebody puts out a request for a job description for city manager, assistant to city clerk, if we have it, we send it. And so as we're doing this active project with police, we've requested police 1, police 2, lieutenant. We've got hundreds
So
of
go
them.
to the collective.
We go to the collective.
Listserv type thing that you guys do.
And we'll put them together and say, put all of these into one. We're just very careful not to ever say Hapeville. Hapeville is actually called Sugarville. That's our name, and we're the Queen Bee department according to ChatGPT.
Okay.
So we're very careful to protect the integrity of us while still trying to work smarter, not harder.
Cool, thank you.
Good team.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Stacy? Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
We have some depot.
we'll do depot and then city clerk, if you wanna do it. Samantha, how you doing? You probably sitting right there thinking you done wound up and accidentally gone to a College Park council meeting because it's running so long.
Yeah, but you aren't yelling at each
It
other.
ain't midnight yet.
That's right.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Samantha Singleton, 620 South Central. So the Hapeville, next slide, please. So the Hapeville Depot Museum, what we do, we preserve one of the oldest buildings in Hapeville, Hapeville historic artifacts. We tell the history of the city, highlight local artists, and promote tourism. So why do we do it? The focus is paired 2 goals. We're encouraging tourism by connecting visitors to the history and the art of Hapeville, and then we connect them directly to how they're spending their time and how they're spending their money in Hapeville. Next slide, please. Thank you. We have a very small department, it's me, and we have 2 part-time visitor center associates that are under the scope technically of Atlanta Airport District, and then we have a whole crew of volunteers that help us with events and programming throughout the year. Next slide, please. Okay, so how do we do it? So we have exhibits, we have curated tours, and we genuinely try to get to know our visitors. We make connections with people, and that is how we impart the history of Hapeville to others, and then again, work as an economic driver for the city. We also have a list of accomplishments in the past 2 years I've been here. We've been highlighted in 2 articles via the AJC. We've been in Atlanta Magazine. We are on track this year for 2025, attracting over 3,000 visitors. Last year, we did a little over 2,000 visitors. 2 years in, we have 90 new 5-star reviews on Google Maps. We have a growing crew of volunteers who are very invested in not just the museum, but the success of the city and promoting the city's history. And a lot of our volunteers also helped with programming like Juneteenth. We are connected with Atlanta History Center, Atlanta Preservation Center. We work with UGA. We actually just finished up our very first annual class with GSU, so we partner with the master's program in historic preservation and heritage. So we'll do that again next semester, and maybe one day we'll have a major in Hapeville studies. I don't know.
There you go.
Next slide, please. Okay, so looking ahead, we are currently working on a gift shop. The image there is designed by local printmaker from the Atlanta printmaker studio, Kiara Gilbert. So that's one of the postcard designs that they created. We are also working on building out even more programming, especially for youth. And we also are working on a partnership with Atlanta's Center for the Visually Impaired. We just hired a new part-time visitor center associate who has a background in grant writing, so they'll be writing even more grants for us. And then finally, we're just working on more marketing opportunities, creating a new brochure for the museum, and then just continuing to look for opportunities to be in the press and promote Hapeville.
Awesome.
Next slide. Okay, so We're a pretty small department. For our operating expenses, I'd say about half of that percentage, it goes towards professional services. We have a residency program that combines a historian and an artist to create all new exhibits for the museum. We also hire artists to lead different workshops for visitors. And then the rest is essentially, going towards moving costs, furniture costs, and just overall funding for exhibits. And that's it. Any questions?
I'm very pleased with the positive press that we're getting from the things you're doing. So you're getting out in the media is already working. So you've done a very good job of promoting Hapeville. We hear wonderful things. We really do. Any questions for Samantha, Council?
Great job, Samantha. My question for you, since you probably know the depot building best of anybody these days, do you foresee any major capital expenses that are short-term and long-term that the building will need to not only maintain it, but to make it, safe and sound for generations to come?
It's so funny, every time it rains, I think about capital expenses, but at this point, the depot is actually in really good shape. I have preservationists come through and talk about the building with me, and they all have good things to say. So I think we're actually in a pretty good
we're
spot.
10, 12 years away from the renovation that was done, that took it from a leaky, old, drafty building to a climate controlled, temperature controlled, humidity controlled structure.
Yeah, and they also know, it's not just, it was done, the renovation was done well, but it also took into mind preservation.
Yeah.
They think that's awesome, so.
I love that what you see on the inside is very true to its original state, but that the building itself is sound and tight. So.
Thanks. Any other questions? Awesome job. And you don't have any clerical support either, do you?
It's just like, thank you.
All right.
You're right, preaching from the choir, somebody else's letter.
I know that. Yeah. It'll be on the screen. All right, now our city clerk. How you doing?
Hi.
Wait until the end.
Hello. So I am last. I'm just gonna go over the office of yes. I'm gonna go over the office of the city clerk. So just to start off, the city clerk's office staff consists of myself as well as Maria Rodriguez, which is Janet. She recently just we changed her title to assistant to the city clerk. Prior to, she was a specialist, which did not align with what she was doing. So it just made sense to give her that new title. I'm going to go through the accomplishments that we have done in our office since I've been here, which is 2021. One of the biggest things was that we redesigned the website, making it easier for navigation as well as public access. Another thing that we did that was a key accomplishment was launch Just FOIA, which streamlined our open records, which is really, really easy, and just basically taking open records out of employees' emails, as well as taking open records out of employees, just taking that paper trail away and just having everything online. Also being able to send the open records, send the videos, no matter how big it is, through Just FOIA, and keeping it in the cloud. And it also allows us to track it. If our city attorney ever needs to see an open record request to the full extent, I can print out the entire thing. So that's a really, really, really good thing about Just FOIA. Another thing that we have done is digitalize a lot of our forms. So instead of the water form, your water application now, your trash pickup, all of those are digital forms that now you don't have to fill out, send to an email. You actually can just fill it out on the website. When you fill it out on the website, it goes directly to that employee's email address. So the water forms have been a huge one, water disconnection forms. trash pickups, for like extra sanitation, and also report a concern, proclamations and welcome letters. Now you can, request for that automatically would go to the mayor and myself and Tim, so that we can see, someone requesting for a proclamation or a welcome letter and the extent of what they are requesting for it. We also have the AI bots. I know everybody thinks it's not being used. It is being used. They ask some of the craziest questions. Sometimes we have an answer, sometimes I don't. With that AI bot, it just helps us connect and open another opportunity for residents as well as the public to basically get in touch with someone kind of at hand. Even if they are talking to AI, it comes to my email. It also goes to Janet's email. So if they cannot get an answer from the AI robot, usually I can just forward their question to that department, and they can contact them because the AI bot is going to ask for your contact information. So if it's a question that it's just another way to keep in contact, with the public and build that transparency and trust there. Something that I've done only twice so far, but hopefully expanded. We've had our on-site training. The first on-site training I did was with our alcohol licensees, where we had like an alcohol training class, basically for them to come. I invited the state, the Department of Revenue, some special agents with the Department of Revenue, our city planner, our city attorney at the time. It was not Luana, it was Ariel. She was here, Miss Jackson. Where the actual alcohol licensees could come to talk to us and ask us any questions that they may have about their license, and then also they could ask the state and see how the process was for the state and see how the process was for us as well. That was well attended, and it's being requested to have another one of those. And it also allows the alcohol licensees to kind of get to know each other. And I think that's a really good thing, being the fact that we have a special events license here that can only be used by active alcohol licensees, only for not city events. So if it's city events, it can be someone that has an active license outside of the city, but if it is city events, if it is someone having an event here and they would like their alcohol to be catered, then they would need to use someone that has an active alcohol license within the city. And again, it builds that, initiative with them talking to each other, because a lot of those licensees do expand their businesses to other things such as event spaces. Another training that we have recently this year, we had the ethics training, which was well attended. It was for city staff as well as appointed board members. I heard nothing but really good things about that, and we'll talk more into that. Lastly, one of the biggest things that we did was launch My Hapeville GA mobile app, which again kind of it takes the website and put it in your hands, literally. One of the things you guys talked about recently was the report of concern. Well, the reason we're getting such an increase in report of concern is because we have it on the mobile app. And the great thing about that is that it allows you to take pictures. So you can literally fill it out and you can take pictures, have your phone and take a picture, and it uploads it. You send it off, you go about your way. It just makes it an easier process. And easier is always better for this day and age. Next slide.
Very good.
I'm gonna have to press it again, guys. A couple of things. Okay, so some opportunities. As the city is growing, we are, because of our growth, opportunities are coming, are presenting themselves. And these opportunities are currently not in my budget, but I would love for them to be in the future. One of the things that Stacy mentioned was laserfish. Laserfish. The next we talked about was in-city training. The next was the court chamber audio and visual system. And lastly, it was the streamline of the alcohol process automation. So with laserfish, Stacy kind of touched on this, but laserfish has been a big booming thing, just FOIA. Since I've been a clerk, I've talked to multiple clerks who are starting to transform all their documents to electronic forms. One concern for me, that when I spoke to a clerk and she told me that all her records were stored in a building that was very old and that rats had got into the building, which destroyed minutes that were probably 50, 60 years old. It destroyed documents that are lifetime documents. We have minutes that I believe are coming up. They're probably going to be 100 years old. I think the oldest minutes I've seen is maybe 1936. I have to go back and look. But it's going to be coming soon that if I lose the original copies, I don't have them. I can scan them personally, but to try to scan all of the documents that we have in our storage room would just be, it's just me and another person. It would really take up a whole bunch of time, but those are historic documents and I need to keep them forever. I would love to keep just even if a copy of them. We also have the choice to allow Laserfish to come in and scan those documents. That would be costly, or we can scan it ourselves surely, but surely.
Over a period of time.
Yes, sir. What Laserfish, it helps boost the transparency because of the fact that I am able to get those documents when it comes to open records as soon as possible. Laserfish, if you're familiar with Unicode, it's kind of like Unicode. You can type in a word and it processes and pulls all of the documents for you. That is basically what Laserfish does. So it just allows me to hurry up and get records. It also does my retention and help me with the retention. But again, one of the things that I was scared about is, God forbid, if something was to happen to City Hall, whether it's flooding or a fire, we have documents, maps that that we would lose. And I love looking in our historic documents and just looking at minutes that someone typed 90 years ago, or something, not 90 years, but 70 years ago, 60 years ago, just looking at in some of the stuff that you guys were talking about that were grandfathered in. Imagine if you asked me to go find the minutes from there or find the meeting notes from there, and I can't find it, and we don't know why they made this change. Next will be in city training. And city training is huge, I feel, because it's more convenient. When I'm trying to get my board members, especially my appointed board members, like my ethic board members who would need this training, development authority members who need this training, GMA and Carl Vincent, it's very hard for me to get a class for them. And typically when I do have to get a class, I have to send them somewhere far. Some of our board members don't have the transportation. Some of them take, they walk I have a ethics board member who literally takes the bus to come to all of the ethics meetings. Now, that's not a person that I can just send to Rome, Georgia to do an ethics training. As you guys know, mayor and council with GMA, it's very hard to get their trainings tagged down because they have them in all different cities all over Georgia. I just feel it's more convenient and more efficient if we can bring it here to the city and host the training here if we can. These classes are accredited classes because the last class that we had with ethics, Carl Vincent Institution, we had a teacher from there, professor from there. So that was accredited class. Also, it's beneficial to staff. Those staff that have to take these classes, a part of their certification, a part of post, me being a city clerk, it is a continued education class. So, and it also just builds transparency. I mean, what city would not love to have an ethics class, open meetings class, a grant class? I mean, these are things that can be given to residents as well. The court chamber audio. So I did a picture of a current meeting, probably probably like 2 weeks ago. Our court chamber audio and visuals are very dated. I know that we kind of got this, a lot of cities migrated with the visual and audio when it came to COVID. But as you know, technology ages out fairly quickly. And just within those 5 years, we have aged out. We do need more cameras. I feel like a better visual system would look better. I did have someone come in here and I had actually 3 quotes. And the lowest quote, when the tariffs happened, that quote went up double. And I'm assuming that's just what it's going to be around the border for some of the equipment that we need. The sound equipment that's over there is kind of dated. Usually now they just use iPads. to adjust the sound, also being able to move the camera so that the audience can see who is at the podium as well as mayor and council. Right now, it's just mainly focused on this area. I cannot move the camera at all. Another thing is if I have like presentations like this, in the new software, I'll be able to put that presentation on to the screen next to the meeting. So as the presentation is showing, it's literally showing and people are not straining their eyes. And that helps with the ADA compliances as well for those. So I think that's very important that we look into that as well. That's currently not included
In your budget.
in this budget. No, sir. The next would be to the alcohol process. I've been getting asked this question since the state went paperless. And the state went paperless in 2022. When the state went paperless, of course, the next thing you hear is, well, how come I have to come and do application, or why can't I just do it online? We don't have the software, just to be honest with you. Everything we're doing right now is pretty by the hand. All of my renewals, I have to literally mail out. All of my applications, I have to mail out and trust the postal system. And if it does not get it to them, I have to call my alcohol licensees and I let them know, hey, we just mailed it out, but if you didn't get it, please come and pick it up. Just to put it, I would like to have a software where they can track our renewals as well as our monthly taxes. Right now, me and Janet track our monthly taxes within Excel. We have to collect monthly taxes every month, of course, but we're collecting it for probably about 40 licensees, and just making sure, just doing that manually inside Excel is a very tedious process. It's very time consuming. Whenever someone comes and bring their tax report, we have to go over it before they can leave. A lot of them, especially the hotels, some of them are not in the state. I have some people that go out of the country. So it's just a very tedious process. And I feel like putting it in a software would be able to just kind of take that down a notch, as well as just help me track it as well. And make sure that I'm getting the information. I feel like it will also help me to, in the future, when I'm wanting to do an alcohol audit, be able to pull that information together as well. And lastly is our pie chart. As you can see with our pie chart, the majority cost, of course, is going to be personnel, which includes me and Janet, and also also some of our benefits. The next cost would be the other expenses, and that other expenses also I'm looking at 4 different budgets. So I have council, mayor, as well as the city clerk and elections in there. Again, the next highest cost is going to be the other expenses. That typically includes our training. That typically includes the South Fulton Municipal Association meetings, the employee appreciation dinners. So that's where that cost would go into, as well as supplies. So, and that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Great job.
Thank you for what you do.
Certainly favor the migration towards automating as much of our operations as we can, especially the digitizing of records. That makes everybody's life a lot easier.
Yep.
Enhances the transparency and everything else.
Yes, and accountability,
Yes,
because it will track the record, and if someone say they didn't get it, or if they're saying that we're not responding, I can pull up the open record and look from the time they completed it, everything, the whole timeline.
I had a quick question about the AI chat. If a customer asks a question and it doesn't give them the answer or a correct answer, does that create a log that you review periodically, or how does it log?
It does. It logs it. So if it does not know the answer, then it'll ask them for their contact information and say that we'll have a city staff reach out to you. It automatically sends that to me. When it sends me the email, it sends it either to me or Janet. I look at the question. If I can answer it, I'll try to answer it. I'll contact them and answer it to my best ability. If I can't answer it, then I'm going to send it to that department. And if it's a question that I just know no one can answer, I'm still going to send it to the department just to let them know that we've made contact. So I found myself like, I get a lot of court questions. If someone missed court, they're wanting to reschedule, I usually will send that to our court service department. If I get anything about water, I'll send that over to the water department.
But if they don't fill out that extra contact form,
Then it can't. And it's literally within the chat, it's just 3 questions. Name, telephone number, email address. So hopefully they can fill it out. And when they do fill it out, it sends it to me. It also sends me a report every morning, so I can see the type of questions that are being answered. It basically puts it in a category. So if a lot of my questions within the month was regarding water, it will allow me to send that report over to the water department, and they can do a FAQ, and we can enter in more questions.
does the AI chat only pop up on the app, or is it also on the site?
Just on the site. Just on the site.
Thank you for everything.
Any other questions for Sheree?
Or if we could streamline in the alcohol area, it would help us monitor compliance.
Yes, a lot, and help
better.
us
Yeah.
with compliance. And also, my thing is, I really want to, I've talked to Ms. Pam at GMA, and I'm really wanting to do in the future alcohol audit. We haven't had one done in some years. But before I just surprise our licensees with that, I would just like to try to get everyone on track, at least with a software. And then once I can build into that software and I can really monitor them for a couple of months, then I would like to probably try and do an audit to follow up behind that.
Very good. Thank you, Sheree. All right, Mr. Young, I think you're next up. We have a quick report on